What's poppin', internet? Welcome to another episode of the Synced Up Podcast, the show where we talk about news, games, and sandwich a little fun in between. Joining me this week is number one Nintendo fan and whisperer during the intro. You know they can hear that, right?
They couldn't hear that at all.
No, they definitely can hear that.
No.
Oh, I'm Timothy Durrell, by the way, but y'all know that. Michael Clare.
Hi.
How you doing on this fine Sunday?
I'm doing great. I can only hear out of one ear.
One ear, yeah. 'Cause you're going deaf now?
Yeah. And they don't make headphones for one-eared people.
Yeah, I guess that's true. That's true.
The original 360 headphones were one ear.
Yeah. And the voice you just heard is the one, the only manager of the social media profile on Twitter, Chance Rayner. Chance Rayner, how you doing, man?
Hello. I'm doing great.
You joined us on the Game Awards stream. That was fun.
You can find that nowhere.
Yeah,
I didn't save the VOD.
The VOD doesn't exist anywhere. There were some good reactions on there too. I wish we had those clips.
I was so excited to be like, oh, let's go watch the Sephiroth trailer, and it didn't exist
because our reaction to that was pretty intense. But today we're gonna talk about Kentucky Fried Chicken joining the console race, Arc System Works' new fighting game, Among Us breaks some records. And if you stay tuned to the back half of the show, we're gonna run through this very quickly. Because there's not much. We do got some reader mail and stuff in there. We're going to skip the game this week, and this week in gaming is pretty geeks mode.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to go pretty quickly. In the back half of the show, me, Mike, and Chance are going to go through our personal top 10 games for 2020.
Sure.
And there's some fire lists, if you ask me. But before we get into that, a little bit of housekeeping for you. If you listen to the audio version of the show, and you would like to put some faces to some voices, except for Chance because he's in the Discord call, you can go over to youtube.com/synceduppodcast and subscribe to the YouTube feed there, and where you can also find other shows. We do impressions videos over there every once in a while. There hasn't been one in a minute because no games are coming out.
There ain't no games.
But we do those every once in a while. We try to do one in between every episode.
If we can.
Like I said, nothing's coming out, so we haven't done that. So you can go like, subscribe, do all that stuff over there. But if you don't want to put any faces to any voices because you think we look stupid, kind of like, we think that as well.
It's true.
You can go over to the any audio feed that you listen to. If you can't find it in your favorite audio feed, email me or DM me or do something.
How would they have found? So are you saying
if you're on
they
YouTube,
have two audio feeds and they're like, today I'm going to use my second favorite audio feed?
No, but
found us.
If
and
you're
like, I wish these guys were in my first favorite audio feed.
Like I'm saying, like if you're on YouTube and you're like, I'm gonna transition to your audio feed, or you are a good Samaritan and you're just going to check what you would normally listen to in your audio feed and you don't find us there, just let us know that we're not there.
Okay.
But look up Synced Up Podcast in your favorite audio feed and we'll most likely be there. Look for the blue and white logo and you can find us. And also new episodes go up in those feeds at 7 a.m. Central Time Zone gang on Monday. So you usually put the Monday before that, but I'm off my game today because there was some shit that happened before the show, man.
30 minutes of technical difficulties, and we didn't learn a damn thing.
And I don't know how I fixed it. Like, I don't know what was broken, what I fixed, no clue.
Unplugged everything, plugged everything back in.
Yeah, but you can also write into the show at synceduppod to have any questions, comments, concerns, games, anything you have read on the show or not. Doesn't have to be read on the show. You can just email me and give us some praise. Or shit on us. I'll read that too. I won't be happy about that, but I'll read it.
I'll be happy about it.
Also, you can follow us on Twitter at synceduppod to keep up to date with all of our content. And you can follow our personal Twitters at Timothy Durrell and at The Coast is Claire that are linked on those Twitters. But let's get right into the show. So the KFConsole is real and it boasts one big advantage over the PS5 and Xbox Series X. This is by Adam at Tech Radar. I'm not that last name. Sorry, Adam. Approved by Colonel Sanders himself, the KFConsole is here, and it finally solves a problem that literally no one cared about until now: how to keep your chicken warm while gaming.
I've been talking about this for years.
The KFConsole, created in partnership with PC hardware manufacturer Cooler Master, promises to shake up the console war like a big bag full of 11 herbs and spices with its built-in chicken chamber, a world's first. It means that the days of stomaching lukewarm poultry or suffering through a slightly cold piece of thigh are thankfully over, and it's about time. The KFConsole was first teased back in June and caused more commotion on social media than a fox entering a chicken coop. Demand, strangely, was high for a console from the long-running fast food chain, and well, here it is. The KFConsole is designed to keep your freshly purchased food piping hot as you frag foes online, something with which the PS5 and Xbox Series X simply can't do, and we wouldn't advise trying either. Honestly, the Xbox Series X might be able to do it.
I was about to say, the PS4 could have.
You throw a chicken on that, it might stay hot for a good long while. The custom-built cooling system extracts system heat around the outside of the chicken chamber so the hardware stays suitably cool and your chicken stays warm. Does this cook your chicken or is it just warm?
No, it just warms it.
Okay, because I was like,
we're not to that technology yet.
Yeah, we can't cook. in our
That's
consoles.
next gen.
Yeah. The bargain bucket shaped machine is also capable of chewing through the latest games too. While the specs are still firmly under wraps, the console promises to have top-end Intel CPU inside of it, an Asus hot swappable mini GPU, and an NVMe 1TB SSD from Seagate. It means that the KFC console can run Crysis and even Cyberpunk 2077, bugs and all, as well as I Love You, Colonel Sanders, a finger-looking good dating simulator, and an impressive 4K 240 FPS.
That's what we've been needing.
100%, dude. I can't wait. Suspiciously, the console doesn't have a release date, price, or any nailed-on technical specifications to share yet, although it does have a website. Nevertheless, we're crossing our fingers that the kernel delivers a consumer-ready product in the near future, as we're unsure whether a heated chicken chamber would pass health and safety regulations. Wow.
I've been a champion for this for a while. You know me. I like my chicken.
Yeah.
Cane's.
Yeah.
Chicken
We ate
Express.
chicken today.
Slims. The list goes on cue now.
I think we all partook in chicken. Chance, did you eat chicken today?
Chicken today? No. I didn't
When was
eat
the last time you
today.
ate chicken?
Yesterday?
No. Last time I ate chicken was probably like a week ago.
You're
Man,
slacking.
Slacking.
Where's your go-to chicken place down there?
Yeah.
Cane's.
Okay, respect.
Okay, that's respect. Yeah.
Okay.
Get that butter on both sides, you know. Got that sweet
So how
tea.
much would you be? I mean, did we get a price number on here?
No, there's no price.
Okay. There, I think since this article is out, the price number was announced. I think, or Donkey
no,
lied to
there's
me.
there's like a people are speculating. Like
Donkey said $2,000.
Yeah, people are speculating $2,000, but
Okay.
there's no.
Would you pay
Absolutely the fuck not.
if you? Okay.
I don't need chicken that bad. man.
Listen,
I'll just go
if you
heat
don't
it up
have
in the
your
microwave.
PC, any of your consoles, do you consider this?
No,
Why not?
dude, come on. If I don't have a PC or any consoles, like I'm not in this world, so I'm not looking at KFC consoles.
But what if you're really into chicken? Like,
I'm into
there's
chicken.
balance
Okay.
there.
Because for me personally,
Yeah.
I just don't like waiting on things. I don't want to like put my chicken like I'm just gonna eat the chicken. Like it's not gonna get cold.
I do agree. Practicality wise, this
Makes
is
no
pretty
sense.
low because I agree. I don't want chicken fingers on my Xbox controller or whatever I'm playing with.
Exactly.
And this will get your greasy paws on everything.
100%.
So
And why are you not just eating your chicken? Like why is it left unfinished? And if it's left unfinished, why are you keeping it in your consoles?
maybe
Put it
it's
in
a
the
long
fridge.
session.
Where did
You know?
the grease go
That-
in the console?
Yeah.
See, I don't know.
about the
There's a lot of
juices?
questions here. I need to see this thing in use.
Yeah,
you
me
know,
too.
and I assume some big influencer is gonna get their hands on it.
Let's
but
try to get our hands on it.
We should. Let's reach out to the Colonel and see what he has to say. I'm pretty sure he'll team up.
Yeah, we'll have to pretend. We'll have to put a mask on because I don't think they'll send us one.
I don't
just
know.
Just us. We'll
Why
have to be
not?
like we work for.
I didn't even list KFC on my list of chicken places, so maybe not. I don't think we're looking good.
My uncle works at Nintendo. Can you send me a console? Yeah, well, get excited for the KFC console, I guess. I don't know. This thing is so weird. I mean, when it comes out, it'll make news for like a week, and then we'll talk about it on here, and then it'll just disappear into nothingness.
It'll be a relic of time.
It'll be a relic of time. But until then, I guess you got a new Arc System Works fighting game to look forward to. We have a trailer for that. There's no real news. Jordan, if you could show us the trailer. There's no real news around it because,
Dude.
like, it's just, there's just nothing. but,
Arc System and revitalizing dead franchises, man. Name a better duo.
Yeah, I know. They're
Besides
iconic.
Dragon Ball.
There's a little 50-second trailer here. Play this. What's it called again? Dungeons?
DNF? What's the actual?
I don't know.
Fight? I don't know. My ear.
Yeah, turn it down. My ears are bleeding. Thank you.
I mean, in classic Arc System, fashion, it looks
good.
great.
Yeah. It does look pretty good.
Like this is something I casually try for like an hour or so.
Yeah.
DNF Duel, that's what it is.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess it's like some RPG from back in the day.
Yeah, something from 20 years old.
Yeah.
Dungeon and
Classic.
Fighters is, I think, the original title of the game. Obviously, we're ill-experienced in this, this game
Mm-hmm.
or this franchise.
We do know Arc System Works, though.
Arc System does make good games, though.
Dragon Ball Fighters.
Makes really good fighting games.
Blaze Blue.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys.
So, good for them.
Guilty
Another
Gear?
L for the guys trying to get a Naruto fighting game. That's actually good.
Yeah, that's not coming.
So, I mean, anything these guys touch will probably be good.
Yeah.
So I'm shocked they're not getting bigger franchises.
Mm-hmm. I wish there was more to say about this. Just the trailer, though. That's all we really have.
Mhm.
They haven't really dropped any info. No release dates. No news. Other related news. Just
Would you
the
play
name.
this?
No.
Damn.
I would not. No.
Chance, what about you?
No, definitely not. But have they talked about like operating system? Like how How?
Nope.
Where are you gonna buy the games from?
Nope, no release date, no platforms, nothing.
Nothing.
Just the trailer. Just a little old teaser trailer for you. But we had to show it because it's Arc System Works, and they make
Yeah, and
pretty big games.
That was like all that there was this week.
Yeah, but there is one more news story this week. A wholesome news story.
Yeah.
A really cool news story.
Honestly, really cool.
Nearly 500 million users played Among Us in November. That's so many tasks left undone. This is by Mitchell Clark at The Verge. With roughly 500 million people reportedly playing it in November, Among Us has the most monthly players for a mobile game ever, beating giants like Pokemon Go, Candy Crush Saga, according to Nielsen's Super Data. There's my burp. This game is by far the most popular game ever in terms of monthly players. The sex
is even more remarkable.
Well, the success is even more remarkable because Innersloth, the company that makes Among Us, only has 4 employees. That's roughly 125 million players per person who works on the game.
Jesus.
It's proven to be so popular that the studio decided to cancel a sequel that was in the works and just put all its efforts into improving the original. It even caught the attention of sitting Congresswoman AOC, who live streamed herself playing it to try to encourage people to vote, with an audience on Twitch that peaked over 400,000 viewers. In an email to The Verge, Carter Rogers, principal analyst at Superdata, said that the next most popular game in terms of monthly active users only clocked in at 300 million. That's a 200 million gap there.
Jesus.
Rogers notes that Nielsen arrives at its figures through a mix of point of sale and event data from publishers, developers, and payment service providers. Among Us release on the Nintendo Switch was recent enough that it didn't have an appreciable impact on the game's total numbers in Nielsen's analysis. That's important to note because it hasn't dropped on Xbox either. So you imagine this kind of skyrockets it. The fact that Among Us had 500 million players shows the outstanding reach you can get by making a free game that runs on mobile devices. According to Superdata, only 3% of those 500 million players were playing on the PC version. That's crazy.
Jeez.
To put that number in perspective, Cyberpunk 2077 is one of the most hyped AAA game launches we've seen in a long time, and it sold 13 million copies this month. Of course, there's a large price difference between the games. Among Us is free on mobile and $5 on PC, but it shows that the audience of mobile games is much larger than other platforms. Innersloth is working to ensure that Among Us has some staying power by continuing to add new content to it, like the airship map with new tasks that's being added early next year, which I can't wait for, by the way.
Me too. I'm excited. This is crazy. Especially the 3% number.
Yeah.
That PC is only 3% of this number.
97% is on mobile.
Because when you, I wonder what the percent. Obviously, it's gonna be like 100% for streamers and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just crazy to me. That when you watch it, it's all on PC.
All on PC.
But everybody plays on mobile.
On mobile. Because it's just free, man.
Yeah, but it's so crazy.
Like, I bet a large subsect of, like, Fortnite players are on mobile, too.
That'd be an
I wish we
interesting
could
statistic.
I wish we could get that statistic.
I'm sure a majority of it has.
We
to be
played
console.
Among Us on mobile.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but for Fortnite though,
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm sure it's all console.
Yeah, because it came out on
A
console
majority.
first. Who knows? But you do have the spring release of the console version of... Well, it's on Switch right now, but for, like, Xbox and PlayStation for Among
Mhm.
Us, that's going to expand it. I know we're going to start playing again because we can get everybody in the Xbox party.
Yeah.
And that's when
When the
crossplay...
airship drops, I'm sure we'll all play.
Yeah, that's when crossplay comes out, which is going to be nice.
You gonna be playing, Chance?
I'm gonna be playing with y'all.
Yeah, of course.
Coming on Game Pass, so it's gonna be.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Get it on Game
We
Pass.
need to. If we can get enough people, we need to arrange like a synced up.
Yeah, because we can get me, you, Jordan can get in there. We can get Chance in there, Isaiah in there,
And then
Tanner and Trey. I bet.
Tanner and Trey, and then some of the fans. I know Taylor Sanders has a Xbox.
Yeah, he wants to.
He wants to play
with
Rocco.
us. Yeah.
Andy.
Andy.
Yeah.
He's a PlayStation guy, but I can't remember if he has an old Xbox.
Yeah, but it's crossplay, I think. So
If it is, then that'd be great.
yeah,
So we could probably get a whole lobby going.
we
That'd
could
be
get
cool.
a whole lobby going with Game Pass. Oof, that gets me excited.
I know.
But yeah, that like broke all the records. 500 million.
That's
people,
crazy when you think about how many people are on this earth and how many people were playing Among Us.
Yeah, at once active users, and then the next spot being at 300 million.
What was the next one?
I'm
Is it
pretty sure it's
probably Pokemon Go.
No, Pokemon goes at like 180, 300 million. I'm pretty sure it's Candy Crush.
Oh, that makes me sad.
I'm like 90% sure it's Candy Crush.
Man.
There's no way I can confirm that, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that was me for like 2 days.
A little bit.
Clash of Clans.
No, Candy Crush.
I know,
did-
but
I did
Could
play.
that-
Clash of Clans probably got up there for a while, but that was still when the mobile market was like growing.
Yeah.
Right?
In November,
Yeah, that's
Clash of
true.
Clans? No way. No way. I don't believe it.
Oh, you're talking about this November?
Yeah. Because that's what these numbers are
Oh,
from.
I-
These numbers
Oh,
are from November. Oh, wait.
most-
Well, I
no,
guess,
it's
I guess
saying
for the
most monthly
record,
players for a mobile game ever.
Yeah.
Not just
300
in
million.
November.
I bet it's Candy Crush, dude.
For what? 300?
For that 300 million.
It probably. I don't know, man. Pokemon Go summer 2016.
I'm pretty sure Pokemon Go
June?
peaked at like 181 million.
Maybe.
That number is sticking out to me.
I don't know.
181 million.
But Pokemon Go is still climbing.
It
in
is
sales
it's
and
popping.
stuff.
It's popping off.
Mobile gaming. Are you for it?
I'm not against it.
Like Diablo Immortals.
I'm not gonna play that.
Why not?
Well, one, it doesn't look good. Two, yeah, I don't really play mobile games. And three, I mean, I just don't. There's not a third. I just said three because typically
Things are in threes.
in threes. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna play that.
Okay.
But I'll play Among Us, and I play games like Florence, obviously, my top 50 of all time right there. It's a good game.
Yeah.
$2. If you have any sort of mobile device and you haven't played Florence, do it. It's good.
No.
Good old classics, Clash Clans, Smash Hit. Remember Smash Hit?
Smash Hit. No.
Yeah. No.
Temple
no.
Run.
Smash Hit with the little marble you threw
No.
to break the glass. Nothing.
No.
Wow.
I had the flick the paper ball into
Paper
the trash
toss.
can.
Paper toss. That's
Yep.
a good one. Clash.
Temple Run's a classic.
Temple Run.
Yep.
Yes. Subway Surfers. Come on, man.
Speaking of,
Subway Surfers. Oh yeah, one of the few games in This Week in Gaming. Let's go ahead and transition. That's it for the news this week.
what is this segment?
Which sucks. I'll tell you in a second.
Oh, okay.
Because I like talking about news, but it's also good because we're going to talk about a lot of games in the back half of this show,
Yeah.
and I'm glad we got
Yeah.
to run through it really quickly. But
Quick,
this next
quick.
section of the podcast is called This Week in Gaming, and it's a
Mhm.
section of the podcast where we go over the historical releases, and you guessed it, This Week in Gaming, and
Wow.
we want to talk about a non-historical fucking week. Okay, December 27th, nothing. December 28th, nothing. December
Subjectively.
29th,
Subjectively.
yeah, this is subjective. Nothing. December 30th, nothing.
Your
December
favorite
30th
game might have come out in those days.
I highly doubt it. December 31st, Diablo in 1996.
That's a big one.
That is a big one. I didn't realize that came out on the 31st
That's
of December.
crazy that we've
Your
already
game.
talked about both the games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 1996. That's a good game, though.
Mhm.
I think Diablo 2 is better, but
Starting off
whatever.
the year strong on January 1st.
January 1st, also nothing. And then January 2nd, you had Subway Surfers in 2013. So that was the historical releases
What a banging week, man.
for this week in gaming.
I think we told the game devs out there last week that
They got to step it up.
that last week was
Yeah.
a good week to pick. No.
You'll have a yearly highlight on our show if you just release a game.
This week's the way to go.
100%, nothing. And I played a little bit of Diablo 1, but it's old, and I was born 2 years after it came out, so didn't really play that. Played a ton of Subway Surfers, though.
Yeah, I did too.
That's a classic.
Everybody claims to have had the record at some point.
Noah did. I've seen it.
Sure.
I
Sure you
literally
did.
seen it. He's on the top of the leaderboards.
Mm.
His score was like ridiculously high. He played Subway Surfers for like 3 months rigorously, like every day.
We all have our peaks.
Yeah, we'd peak somewhere. This next part we would normally play a game, but we're gonna skip it this week because we have a lot of stuff to talk about in the back half. But we do have a little bit of reader mail that we're gonna get into.
Mail time.
Chance didn't write in this week because he's slacking.
What a
Whatever.
bum.
Bad.
But you can also get your questions read as well on the show by sending an email into synceduppod@gmail.com, just
True.
like Taylor Sanders did this week. And he says, thanks for answering my question last week, which was, do you guys play Rogue Company?
Mhm.
And he said, I went ahead and skipped to the most recent episode. We were talking shit on him because he was far behind. And we let him get in the giveaway
Yeah.
anyway, which, by the way, I will say,
This is cool.
I should have talked about it at the beginning of the show. Yeah, so the giveaway was won by Fielding Dahmer.
The turtle.
Congratulations. Fielding Dahmer, from, the turtle class in Warzone, who got a win, and then we shit-talked him, and then turns out he had tweeted us a video of it days before. Sorry, Fielding. And he won, and originally he wanted Forza Horizon 4 Ultimate Edition, and that's what he was going to do. And I didn't get back to him immediately because I have a day job, and I was busy.
How dare you?
But roughly like 20 minutes later, I guess he had some sort of interaction with Spencer at some point, which I imagine is the one in the YouTube comments the other day. He messaged me again, and he said, actually, give me the standard edition of Forza Horizon 4, and then use the other half, the $30, to get Spencer whatever he wants, right? So I emailed back and forth, and so Fielding Dahmer ended up winning Forza Horizon 4 standard edition. Congratulations. That's a good game. We've all played it. Chance, you played it, right? Did you play it?
I love Forza 4.
Yeah, it's so good, so good. And then Spencer decided to pick up Outer Wilds, which I know you have played, Chance. And that, superb.
What an amazing game.
I
Yeah.
know, so good.
Superb pick.
Yeah, and so Spencer, get back. Whenever you play Outer Wilds, you should try to play it sooner rather than later, because I would like to get your thoughts on it. And I hope you have
Me
a lot of
too.
fun with that game, and I hope you have a lot of fun fielding with Forza Horizon 4. There's a lot of good stuff in that. But back to Taylor's question. Sorry that we so rudely interrupted you. He skipped to the most recent episode. Anyways, what's your favorite Rogue and Rogue Company? Mine is Phantom. And any good strategies that I should know about. P.S. We should link up and play sometime. We might take you up on that because we usually have 3 guys, and we might need a 4th.
I'm sitting this question out.
Yeah, so my favorite rogue in Rogue Company is Dahlia. I prefer to play the support type of role. Dahlia, I don't know if you have her unlocked because I know everybody doesn't have everyone unlocked unless they pay or like grind a lot. She's the one that can link up with any rogue, and then she can revive them from up to 30 meters away without having to be next to them and not having to constantly interact with them. Like, she can do other stuff. And then also she gets their passive ability permanently. So like a good strategy for Dahlia is to link up with a Saint, because his passive is when you revive someone, you gain health back and they gain more health back. So like, being able to revive from anywhere and then also gain health and then have them come up with more health is like pretty OP. And then also, having your Saint up at all times to be able to send their drone as well is like pretty awesome. I know Jordan's favorite rogue is Phantom, unless it's changed recently, but Phantom, yeah. So Phantom is also Jordan's favorite. He likes to hit them clips sometimes when it's with a roll and a quick scope. It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. And then Chance, what's your favorite Phantom or Phantom rogue? I know you play with us a lot, so.
My favorite is Ronin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's the one with the knife. She's the attack. She's basically the attacker.
Yeah.
And I just love being in the fight all the time. So
yeah, the submachine gun. That throwing knife pretty nasty, especially if you can hit with a direct hit. Oh, it's so nice.
So your support, Chance's offense is Jordan's character defensive. Is Phantom offensive?
Yeah, it's
utility more like.
I would say more defense because she's a sniper.
Yeah, and she has like a smoke thing. Yeah, I would say more defense. And any strategies you should know about. My personal strategy, Taylor, for you, this is not a problem for us because we get together. If you're playing, especially if you're playing with randoms, try to always have a mic because being able to communicate is super important. And ping shit constantly. Other strategies, if you see a smoke grenade, typically just don't run in there. Just go somewhere else. Because you're just gonna get murdered. Just play the objective. That's not really a strategy, but more of like a please.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that too.
This is a request.
Chance, just play the objective, and then if you find yourself like getting downed near the objective, and there's no possible way you can really get revived, try to get yourself in a position where you'll still be on the objective, but not out in the open, so you can contest it as much as possible. Because even though you're down, you still contest the point. If you're playing like a capture game mode. But you said you had a strategy, Jordan. All right, I'm gonna repeat what he says. For Ronin players, if you're using a knife, throw it and shoot it. That is pretty good.
What does it do?
Well, because you can force it to blow up by shooting it, which sometimes is. Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty nice because you miss the throw so often, and then shooting it, the damage is further than the motion sensor, so shooting it would make it you could still hurt people, so it's pretty nice.
That makes sense.
But there you go, and I do agree. Taylor Sanders, email me if you're on Xbox. Email me.
I'm friends with them on Xbox now.
Okay, so yeah, we'll add you. We'll add you.
Getting a party
together. Next question from Fielding Dahmer. He says, "What's up, guys? Do you have any games that you have completed 100%? In anticipation of the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, I went back and completed all the achievements for the original trilogy. Those games are so good." Fielding. So first off, I would like to say that's impressive. For the entire trilogy,
yeah, that's crazy.
That's pretty intense. I haven't completed a ton of games 100%, but a few of the notable ones, Dark Souls 3, I've completed 100%. That was intense, but very fun. And then Demon Souls, I recently completed 100%. The original Spider-Man PS4, got the platinum for that. The God of War.
Which one are you most
PS4.
proud of?
Probably Dark Souls 3, just because it's the hardest to do, and it took me like 90 hours in a game that normally takes 15 hours to beat, right? So it was really intense, and I did that with my homies. A lot of grinding, you got to beat the game 3 times. Super good though. I really had fun on that one.
Chance?
Y'all know me. I love. I complete as much games as I can. Any game that I play, I always look through achievement list, and I have to complete it.
At least shoot for it.
Yeah, at least try to anyways. Sometimes.
What about
for like Nintendo games? Do you still have that same urge?
No.
Okay.
But unless it's like Odyssey, where I got all the moons, 999 moons.
Yeah.
That's just because I loved Odyssey a lot.
Yeah.
But or like PlayStation games, I don't do it either. unless
Okay.
it's Spider-Man or
Yeah.
something I love.
Yeah. It's,
I
chasing that achievement numbers is too good.
Yeah, mine's over 100,000. I love it.
Yeah, I know. You beat me out completely. I think I'm at like 3 something.
I'm at like 700.
I forgot.
I'm getting there.
New to the game. What about you? I know you like the 100% sometimes.
I do 100%. If it's a smaller game, I like to 100% it. Some choices I know nobody else will ever say. Mario Tennis Aces.
What a game.
What's the Kirby game on the Switch?
Kirby Star Allies?
Kirby Star Allies.
You 100% of that?
Hell yeah, I did.
What the fuck are you doing?
Dude,
That's
I got
crazy.
bored one time, dude.
No way.
I started 100%ing all the games
Yoshi's
in the
Crafted
apartment.
World?
I didn't 100%
Oh,
Yoshi's
yeah.
Crafted World.
Thank God you didn't.
I had to stop
100%
myself. We
Yoshi.
didn't have it yet.
God
Um,
dang.
And then the one I'm most proud of, Odyssey, I love a lot, but 3D All Stars, because I essentially 100%ed
Yeah.
3 games,
Mm-hmm.
and then Galaxy you like 100% twice.
Yeah.
So that one was time consuming but really fun. Going through those old games was at the beginning tedious, but once you get ahead, you get grasp on the controls again.
Mm-hmm.
It's not too
Very
bad.
nice.
So I do it. I'm with Chance. I kind of try and do it whenever I can, especially with like Cyberpunk and stuff. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
well, if I can do this, I'm gonna do it.
I'm a lot more lax with it. If I get to the end of the game and I see that there's not like too much left in order to get all the achievements, I usually will just go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Or if I'm just loving the game so much that I just want more, because that's what happened with like God of War. I finished it and I was like, no, I'm going for the platinum. And then once I got the platinum, I
Yes.
almost went back on my brother's account and got the platinum again because
Yeah.
I was just having so much fun with that game. So it's usually if there's not much left to the end of the line, I'll go all the way to the line, or if I'm loving the game a lot, and that's how I'll go for the 100%.
Yeah.
Now the original trilogy, not catch me doing that shit.
Dude, go ahead, Chance.
I usually draw the line at difficulty achievements. I hate them.
Yeah, beat
I-
on,
yeah,
beat on
Doom
hard,
Eternal
beat
or
on
something.
beat on extra hard or whatever.
I usually
Yeah,
don't
like-
like those either because I like I will at most play a game on like not hard, like normal,
Mm-hmm.
like medium difficulty is
Yeah.
kind of where I'll play.
Yeah,
And then if it's super grindy and stuff, I'll play on easy.
mm-hmm.
So I don't have to grind as
Yeah,
much.
don't be ashamed to drop to easy. I
No,
think
not
a
at
lot
all.
of people need to.
Especially for like story games too,
Yeah,
like something like The Last of Us.
that shit's difficult. You're not having that much fun. Drop it to easy, dude. It's not that big a deal.
So I have a question here.
Hmm.
How do you feel about the idea of like prestiging a game?
What do you
So
mean?
like you get the plat in God of War, right? Because I thought of this when you said you were thinking about plat in God of War
Like-
on
as like a feature that they could add.
yeah, like you've 100%ed it. You got the platinum trophy.
Mm-hmm.
Do it again.
Nah,
And
nah.
you could it show up
Oh.
like, oh, he prestiged 5 prestige is just the word I used.
Yeah,
But he platted it 5 times on his account.
I mean, I guess that's cool to have in there. I don't know if I would ever do it though.
But would you be inclined to do it?
No, absolutely not.
Or would you just
No.
go plat it on your brother's?
No,
Yeah.
I would have no obligation. I almost did it because I wanted to, but then I just didn't.
Okay.
But I like that's the only time I've ever had that.
Okay.
Like this doesn't occur often, so
I'm just saying,
should
I know
never do it.
somebody would go dummy with that kind of
Well,
stuff.
Yeah.
okay. Well, like for the Xbox though, if they did that,
Yeah.
would they give me the points?
Okay,
because-
this is where we need rules though, because then people would freaking
Yeah.
prestige Avatar: The Last Airbender 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A
exactly.
million gamer scores.
Yeah,
so.
because then like those easy platinums. But I'm on a different topic though. I'm more with Greg Miller on this, and he talks about this a lot. I like achievement lists and trophy lists that like encourage you to play the game in different ways and not just like super tedious. So like, there's like a trophy in Miles Morales. It's like beat the game on New Game Plus. I hate that shit. I don't want that in there. But like interesting stuff where it's like, do this move and then combo it into this move as an achievement, or kill this many enemies this way with this gadget that you normally wouldn't use. Like things that encourage you to play the game differently is the type of achievements and stuff that I like. Not
That's
the
fair.
grindy ones that are just like kill 100,000 enemies, play for 150 hours, yada yada yada. All the shitty ones.
I think I would tend to agree with that.
Yeah, that's what I would prefer.
I
Go for
agree
it.
with that most of the time, but like one that sticks out to me is the last one I did was Valhalla,
Mm-hmm.
where you have to kill 3 guys with a shield without breaking their shield while you're on fire, and that's just tedious. Like it was just annoying.
But
That sounds terrible.
Assassin's Creed always had stuff like that. You remember the one where it was like,
Yeah,
what was it? Kill like 20 people without getting hit, and then there was the one where you had to
Yeah.
like get sand in 4 people's faces at one
Mhm.
time.
Yeah.
Like stupid stuff
Yeah.
like that's always been in Assassin's Creed,
Yeah.
man.
Hate to see it though. One more question this week
Yes, sir.
before we get into the what you've been playing section from Spencer. Of course, you know him, you love him, Spencer Trevette.
Travago.
Travago. Rio. What's poppin'? How do you guys feel about open beta releases for games? I have played many in my years of gaming, and a lot of them seem to either fall off, never get finished, or take too long to the point where I won't return when the game is complete. Would you want to experience a game first before anyone else, only for it to be half done, or would you rather wait until it's fully complete to try it out? I appreciate y'all, Spencer. So I got a complex answer to this one, Spencer, because I think it's on a case-to-case basis, and also there's certain degrees of this that I can agree with and disagree with. So like Call of Duty beta, I'm all in for, because I know it's just like a couple months before release. You're only going to get to play it for one weekend, and it's a multiplayer game that you're going to play over and over. So I don't feel like I'm missing anything. Baldur's Gate 3, a year early access. I played it, and it was clunky and not very good. And honestly, I just wish I would have waited for the full release. Now, I'm still going to play the full release because I managed to just a couple hours in be like, okay, yeah, no, I'm not having fun. But there are certain, like Astro Near is a game I played a ton in early access, but I can't go back to, even though there's so much new stuff, because I just played so much in early access. And the same with Subnautica, until they actually made a story for it, and I went back and completed that story. I had the same type of thing of like, man, I can't really go back. But also, I don't think it's that big of a deal because that's like a different type of thing. And also, games are kind of like that already. Like Stardew Valley, you would say, is 1.0. But like even recently, they just released 1.5 on PC. That's like this huge, crazy update that adds all this new shit.
Yeah,
So,
I think it's a very, very game basis. Because like one of the things that comes to my mind is Temtem, right? I think that game would have been a lot more successful if it had a traditional release.
Yeah, not early
because
access.
I feel like everybody has already played Temtem.
Yeah, and fell off. No one's gonna go back when it releases.
So I think you kind of have to be smart. You got to know your audience and what you're dealing with, to where like, is a closed beta more of a better option? That way you can give certain people access, or like just reviewers, so they can mess around and be like, game's not out yet, but we got to try it, and we like these features and this feature, and then you're still hyped for it. Yeah. Instead of, oh, I've seen everything Temtem has to offer right now. I'm cashed out.
I just had an example in my head. Oh yeah, I think it also depends on the game, because like a game like Humankind, which is the upcoming, can't think of the dev team, but I know they make the Endless Space, Endless Legend, Dungeon of the Endless, all those guys, Endless Dungeon that they just announced. Humankind is coming out next year in March, but in like earlier, like a few months back, they released a beta for that, but it was a closed beta. A game like that makes perfect sense because of the type of game that it is. It's a Civilization type of game, and you get in there and you just play a little bit. That makes perfect sense for a game like that. I don't think you can really get tired of it doing the small amount that they get you, but I think specifically for early access is where I agree with like the fall off and never get finished.
And it probably also depends on the purpose of the beta too. If you're trying to get like beta testers to like find bugs and all that stuff, that's different than I think trying to build up hype for a game. Because like Age of Calamity had the demo. Yeah. I don't know how much changed between that demo and the final
Probably
release.
Not much, I imagine.
But that helped build hype for the game.
And you just got to play the first hour.
And maybe sometimes it's better to do that instead of a beta if your game's already
your progress carried over in that too. Yeah. I think it's case to case. I think that's the real answer. And that's all I got for you, Spencer. And Chance, you got how do you feel about betas, Chance? How are you feeling?
I think betas work better with competitive games rather than like
single player story driven
games like Ark. I would say, because to make the game better, you have to get people. To make competitive games better, you have to get people in there and play them to see what's broken.
And tweak. You develop a meta. For the game's out.
That MP5 in that Call of Duty beta was. Ooh.
Yeah, exactly.
Or like you can think of like Valorant too.
Yeah.
Because that helped build a hype.
You don't. Like Ark, you can release the game. It's a multiplayer game, but you can release it and find the bugs after you've already put all the updates and stuff in it. Like,
I definitely think.
I think it's better for competitive games.
I definitely think it's case by case basis, and it depends on how they do it.
Yeah, definitely.
But that's it for the reader mail. We still got a lot of questions in there from Spencer that we'll get to them, Spencer. Do not worry. We see them. We've read them. They're good. I just couldn't include too many this week because we got to get to the top 10 games of 2020.
Still got the meat.
Before we get into the top 10 games of 2020, let's talk about the games we've been playing this week. So I've been playing a few things. I started and finished Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Nice.
Which I will talk about in depth in the top 10 games of 2020. Spoiler alert, little teaser for you.
Oh, it's in there, huh?
I had played a free-to-play game on PlayStation. I don't know if it's on Xbox. It probably is. Called Vigor, Vigor.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Escape from Tarkov. It's third person though. It's so good. I don't know. It came out of nowhere. Austin downloaded it. He came over that weekend. That's our friend Austin. Plugged it up to this TV right here, and then he was like, "Hey, download this and play it with me." And I didn't really want to, but I was like, we got fiber internet. I could download it really quick.
Yeah.
I can play around and shit on it. So we started playing. We actually stayed up till 5 a.m. that night and played that game. Jordan, he was with us. He was playing too. Man, that game's fun. I don't know what it is. It's just a fun game. You have like this hub base world that you're like constantly evolving, and you go out, and there's all these teams and squads in there. Here's my burp. And it works like a battle royale, except for like there's not a constantly closing circle. You're basically out there, and there's a certain amount of time before the map gets covered in radiation, and then you have to get to an escape point, or you'll die from the radiation, or if you get killed by other players, you die. And if you die, you lose everything that you have on you. But when you get back to your base, you had stuff that you stored there that you can like re-equip, and then you don't want to die, but you go out there, you can find better guns, better like you find like crafting plans and all this cool stuff to like get better guns constantly. There's a loot box system and a battle pass. There's all that classic free-to-play stuff, but it doesn't feel egregious. It feels cool. I like it. It doesn't feel like in your face, like you have to buy stuff. There's like all these, cosmetics and stuff if you want them. But like the cool part of the game that I like it, like there's just so many maps that are all really good, and you drop in there, and then on the map there's like there'll be like a bunch of stuff that's always on the map, like comm systems, locked containers, specific safe. This thing called a barred house, which is like a house that's really hard to get into but has good stuff in it. Those are marked on the map for everybody. Yeah. And then everyone will like go to those, and there'll be firefights. And then there's certain things, like when someone kills one of their teammates because there's friendly fire, it'll mark them on the map and be like, hey, there's a team killer right here. And they'll constantly show them. If you kill 4 or more people in one match, it'll pop up like this player is a threat, and it'll mark you on the map for everyone. If you get a supply drop, if you haven't used a comm system to like change it to where it won't pop you up on the map, when you pick it up, you'll be popped up on the map for everyone to come get your supply drop. And those are good. Because the supply drop is how you get loot boxes to like open and get more cooler shit. Like a lot of ammo, a lot of new guns and crafting plans. You get those from loot boxes. And before you go into a match, people can spend their like basically the equivalent of V-Bucks on like increasing the quality of that crate. Yeah. And so like at the beginning of the match, sometimes they'll increase that quality like crazy where you'll get like 3 legendaries, and then everyone, it's like the most intense firefight on the drop zone because everyone's like, we gotta go for it. Like it's such good quality, we have to. And you like, and I spend a lot of, that's all I spend my stuff on is just those things. Like you can increase the amount of loot in the world, increase the quality of that. You can buy insurance for your team so you don't lose everything. It's super fun. So if you haven't played it, it's free. I'd advise checking it out. You go in as trios or duos, but
it is on every platform.
It is?
Okay.
Yeah, dude, I like it a lot.
Switch.
I wonder if there's cross progression, because I might link my Xbox and stuff and then start playing it on there.
Okay.
And maybe get a chance in there, check it out.
Maybe
and then one more game I've been playing. I have been playing the 2018 game Ikenfell, which is a indie darling, and I'm about 3 to 4 hours in. I'm really liking it. The only reason I started it is because, a lot of our listeners listen to the MinMax podcast, and if you listen to the best soundtracks of the year episode that they did a couple weeks ago, Ben Hansen actually talked about the combat music for Ikenfell, and that's the entire reason I even downloaded this game, and also because he says it has the grid-based combat from Mega Man Battle Network White, one of my top 50 games of all time that we talked about a couple weeks ago. And so I was like, I'm gonna try it, and I'm 4 hours into it, and I'm digging it. It's on Game Pass. The story's cool. The art style's dope. It's just super dope, and I love the combat system. It's like this turn-based thing with the classic like Mario thousand year door like timing system where you got hit A to like try to time it, and you get like nice, perfect, all that stuff, and your attacks are better, or you don't take as much damage if you do that. It's super fun, and I'm enjoying it. But that's all I've been playing. What about you, Mike?
I played some more Cyberpunk, but I feel like I've talked about Cyberpunk enough for the rest of this decade
of time.
So if you have any questions, DM me. Otherwise, we played Smash.
We did play Smash. Sephiroth.
And Sephiroth came out. He's really fun. Feels relatively balanced.
Yeah, because he's OP but super slow.
Yeah, you can definitely punish someone real easily.
Real easy.
But
he hits super hard and kills super early. But if he
quick,
misses,
you can get in and kind of mess him up.
You don't gotta be quick.
And I think I've found love in playing Pikachu.
Yeah. Still wouldn't bet me any money though.
No.
Still wouldn't bet me money on those games.
No, you turn up a little. You can you can get into the zone way better than I can.
Yeah.
So I don't want to.
I can fall into the flow state.
The flow state. Yeah. So, I've been thinking about Smash, bro.
Yeah, it's fun. We've been having a lot of fun lately.
Yeah, I want to play.
We can play after.
I haven't played Smash in a while.
We can play when you come up. Yeah.
I'll run you real easy, like
Probably.
spread them. You know.
Oh
Let
no.
me slide in.
That's it though. How you been playing?
Yeah.
Nothing else. What about you, Chance? What you been playing this week? I want to know what you've been playing.
I have been playing Dragon Quest XI Echoes of Elusive Age Definitive Edition.
You'll love to hear it.
That's honestly shocking that you are playing. How
Oh,
far are you in?
Yeah. I want to say I'm about 30 hours in.
Jeez.
That's
Chance Rainer 30 hours into a JRPG that's as
Yeah.
goofy as that. This hell is frozen over. You like it though?
My timer says 50, but it's a whole thing. But yes, I'm
Yeah, that's the
actually
thing.
really enjoying it.
Good. You like the cast of characters? Have you unlocked a majority of everyone?
I'm shook.
Yes, I've unlocked all of them except for the last
Mhm.
guy.
Do you know who it is? Did you like look it up or something?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
But
That's cool though.
yeah, I think the combat is so much fun. I mean, I had to turn up the battle speed
Animation speed or
because,
whatever.
man, it was getting
It
real
can
slow.
get grindy.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you agree with this, but I always thought like if you do all the quests and stuff, you're usually, at a good enough level to do all the main quest stuff.
Yeah. I've done every side quest I can so far. And I don't really go out of my way to fight any enemies. Like I stay on the path, and if there's an enemy on the path, I'm like, all right. If I was playing a normal game, I would probably fight this guy, so I'm gonna hit him and I'm
Yeah.
gonna fight him. So yeah, it's interesting. I tried the 2D,
Like the old school graphics.
yeah, and not as fun.
No.
But
I
I
did it for
played
like
for,
30
like-
seconds and was like, nah.
yeah, I played for like 5 minutes, and I was like, all right, this is enough. I need to
No.
go back.
It's
Not for
cool that
me.
they even developed that at all though.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
'Cause
Yeah,
it's the whole game. Yeah, that's nice. You play anything else?
No, that is it.
Damn,
That's all I played.
Been on Dragon Quest 11 grind. That's honestly shocking.
Man finished
crazy.
Cyberpunk and went to a real man's game.
I'm kind of. You gonna play Dragon Quest Builders, dude?
Well, it's on the Xbox, so no. But
I love that game.
hopefully
Can't believe it.
if
I actually
they
like
release
that game.
more Dragon Quest games, I'm definitely gonna play
Is Dragon Quest Builders not on Xbox?
because not that I know of.
I don't think so.
Doesn't sound. I thought I
Well,
played it. No, I played it on
Xbox
on
is
Switch.
doing that thing where they want all the JRPGs now, so they're like,
That's the big edge that Sony has on them.
yeah,
It's the
exactly. So
weebs.
they're like trying to get them on Game Pass.
Let me look at
I mean, yeah, they got
And-
Yakuza, Dragon Quest. Dude, I want to play
Yeah.
Yakuza so bad. We'll get into that.
Dude,
Yeah.
do it. Do it.
I played Yakuza 0 for like 20 minutes, and I was
Wow.
like, this is enough for me. But
Not
maybe
on Xbox.
one day I'll play 7 when they add it to Game Pass.
No, not on
I'm gonna go
Xbox.
hard.
I'm kind of
You
pissed.
were tripping.
Is it coming to Xbox? Like, is there like a?
No, I don't think so.
It probably will.
I
I'm
think you're
offended.
tripping.
Maybe
For
I'm
right now,
tripping.
I think you're tripping.
Okay, well that's the games we've been playing. So now let's get into what I came here for and what I hope all you
What
came
the
here for.
thumbnail should be.
What the thumbnail should be. Our
Oh,
top
it's-
10 games of 2020. So now I have a system. It's not a system I invented, but it's a system where basically we're going to award points to games basically depending on where they reside on all of our lists. So if I put a game in the number 1 spot, it's going to get 10 points. And second spot 9 points, third spot 8 points, yada yada yada. You get the gist of it. And then based on all 3 of our lists and the amount of points that we give to each game, we will decide the top 10 definitive for synced up. Jordan, if you could keep track of this, because I can't keep count of all these games. So like just open up at the bottom of the Google Doc, just type them in as we go. So I'm gonna start off. We're gonna start off with our honorable mentions. We each have 3 honorable mentions for the top 10 games of 2020. And my first honorable mention is
Clarification, real quick.
What's up?
Not necessarily games that came out in 2020.
I mean all of mine are, but
I'm just saying, you approved that.
I mean sure.
You approved that.
I approved Among Us is what I approved. I didn't approve
Yeah.
I don't know about like just any game. Like if you Chance playing Dragon Quest Inquisition, right? And he really liked it if you played it last month. I don't know if I would let that slide at him putting that on his top 10 of 2020.
So what you're telling me?
Oh no, what's your list?
I'm kidding.
Okay.
It's literally just Among Us, dude.
Don't finesse me.
I was just getting that out of the way.
My first, we do have Among Us. We let Among Us slide because that's a specific case. My first honorable mention is the indie game. I believe it's on everything. I think it's on Game Pass. Not 100% sure. Coffee Talk.
Coffee Talk.
So if you are not familiar with Coffee Talk is an indie game where it's like a pixel art style, and you play as a bartender, barista. I don't think it's really determined I don't think they really tell you what your gender is or anything, so it doesn't matter. But you play as a character that is a bartender or a barista, whatever, and you live in like a fantastical world where there's like orcs and vampires and werewolves and yada yada yada. And these people come into the shop and they tell you about your problem or their problems, and you make them coffees and stuff. And it's like a mix between like kind of like a what would you call that? A visual novel, but you have like dialogue choices, and the story has different endings and it goes different ways. And then also like a mini game where you make different coffees with different ingredients, and they never tell you like exactly what they want. They're like, hey, I like things that are like sweet, but also this, and there's like meters. It's like, this is how bitter it is, this is how milky it is, and yada yada yada. And so you gotta sometimes do some guesswork. It's really short. It's like 2 hours long. It's only like $10. It was super fun, and the story was dope. So that was my first honorable mention. It came out January 28th. But yeah,
played it and I recommend it.
It's good.
Okay.
It is good.
My first honorable mention will be my favorite game I didn't play this year that I really want to play. Yakuza Like a Dragon, man. I've been watching the gameplay. The clips on Twitter are hilarious, man. I want to play this game so badly,
man.
And I know if I played it, it'd be on the top 10. So.
It's so interesting and intriguing to me that like the clip of like the chicken thing I sent you with like the sushi or whatever.
Yeah.
That makes me aggressively want to not play it, but makes you aggressively want to play it.
Yes, it's the quote that someone used was like, "This game is not ashamed to admit that it's just a video game."
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
And I love that, that quirky, dumb humor.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to play it so bad. And the combat is like classic JRPG stuff, which I enjoy a lot.
Well, not a return to form for that series, but yeah, works for the JRPGs, but different for the series. But people are loving it, so
yeah. I want to play it real bad.
Should come to Game Pass at some point. All the rest of them are on there.
Chance?
My first honorable mention is Blaseball.
Mm-hmm. A good one.
And
a fantastic one.
That is a internet-based baseball game that is absolutely crazy, and we all love it here.
Yeah, it's great.
Well,
we haven't played it in a while.
All of us.
Yeah,
we haven't. Well, it's on hiatus for now.
Hiatus. When it comes back, I'll probably get back in. I keep telling myself I don't think I'm going to, but then like I keep seeing the tweets, and I'm like, oh.
Once everybody else jumps in, I'll probably jump in too and just start betting again.
The browser based.
We've talked about it before.
Yes,
a couple times on the show.
And it narrowly missed my top 10, and the only reason it's not my honorable mentions is because I try to make sure all of our honorable mentions were different.
Yeah.
But yes, I do agree.
It's just the culture around the game itself is what's so cool, interesting. Man. Yeah. The fans, the artwork, all that stuff is what makes Blaseball really unique and cool. Instead of just being another like internet sensation.
Just the browser. It's because it's a browser-based game, and you don't got to pay for it. You just make an account. It's super fun. Super fun. My second honorable mention will be another indie game. I'm gonna stick to that. Ori and the Will of the Wisps. That game is superb. Chance also played it.
Honorable mention. What?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Didn't quite make my top 10.
Wow.
Well, let me make sure. Hold on. Let me look.
He just dropped his number one like that.
I don't want to make myself look like an idiot. No, okay. Yeah, didn't make my
try and hide it from me. Like I don't know what you're.
Yeah, I mean I've talked about my games enough, so I guess people already know my top 10 of the year. But y'all's are a little more discreet. Ori and the Will of the Wisps. The soundtrack is superb. And I think I should mention here the way we're gonna do this. No, never mind. Don't worry about that. Never mind. Completely disregard that. Okay, so the game's really good. Obviously, the combat is fun. The platforming is good. The story is emotional. Emotional.
Big sad.
Big sad. Had me crying right at the beginning. But I think the two places where Ori and the Will of the Wisps really shines above a bunch of other games is in its artwork and its soundtrack. The soundtrack is incredible. I love it so much. The orchestration, the notes, everything, all the crescendos, they hit so hard. They feel fully integrated into the gameplay. And then obviously the artwork, especially with those new, if you've seen the videos of like the new updates for like the console next gen with the ray tracing and stuff, it just looks so good. It's incredible. The artwork is amazing, all the lighting, and it kind of looks a little hand painted, but it ain't, obviously. But it's super good, and I love it. That's my second honorable mention.
So my second honorable mention.
And games you haven't played.
And for games I haven't played this year. Persona 5 Royale, man. Because
Well,
Persona.
you played Persona 5.
I played Persona 5. And this is just like a upgrade. They added some more to the story. Like there's you can play as a different character now and stuff like that. So it's kind of its own new game. I just need an excuse to put Persona 5 in the list again. I mean, I love that game so much. The soundtrack sounds amazing. I'm excited for Persona 5 Strikers. Is that what it is in the American one, or is it?
Yeah.
Okay. The sound. You want to talk about soundtracks?
I don't know if that's come to the West yet, but
yeah,
it has. Okay.
Yeah, that was the big announcement. Dude, I love that soundtrack so much.
It is really good.
I listen to it all the time. The game's phenomenal. It's what invigorated my love for the genre and got me back in, and I'm forever grateful.
Yep.
So I had to shout out Persona 5 Royale where I could.
Of course. Chance, your number 2.
My number 2 is Immortals: Phoenix Rising.
What a good game.
Now this game is basically just Breath of the Wild, but with a story.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's pretty much why I like it so much.
A lot goofier.
Yeah, it's a way goofier. It's actually really funny.
It's quite funny.
And I think the ending really ties it all together really well. I know you haven't beaten it yet and probably won't beat it.
I'm gonna try, but I don't know.
But
don't count on it.
I think it's also really beautiful, and all the areas are different, and
it is pretty.
And then like the secrets and stuff that I found while exploring, like you say, Tim, in Breath of the Wild, every area was like in this little crevice you find something.
Yeah, there's something there. Yeah.
I don't think Immortals: Phoenix Rising does that perfectly like Breath of the Wild did, but I think it does it.
Gets pretty close.
And yeah, it's just a fun place to explore. And I love Greek mythology, so it kind of that's just the bow on top of it all.
Yeah, and I think the puzzles were good, and you have some of that same Breath of the Wild type stuff with the the ability to no, not that. Well, yes, obviously, but the ability to solve puzzles in ways that were blatantly not intended, right? Like there was a puzzle I went to that was like, hey, come back when you have this ability. And I was like, I think I can do this puzzle without this ability. And I spent like 15 minutes doing some crazy weird Manisa shit with rocks on this cliff face, and I solved the puzzle, but definitely was not supposed to do it yet, but was able to do so kind of in that Breath of the Wild like sense. You can solve a puzzle in a unique, non-intentional way. So that's in there. And then obviously, yeah, like you said, Chance, the jokes, they're funny. They all hit. Well, I don't know about they all hit, but a lot of them hit. Yeah, no. And the combat, once you unlocked all the abilities, in the beginning I was like, oh man, this combat's kind of stale. But once you get all those abilities, which you can get if you just, buy them really quickly, because that's how they kind of come in. The combat gets really unique and fun with the stamina system and using all the different abilities. It's really fun. I enjoy it a lot too. Cool. Didn't quite make my top 10 though.
Back to you.
My final, I don't know if this counts as an indie game, but my final honorable mention is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. I have to include that here. That game is real good. Of course, like a lot of people, I haven't gone back to it in a while, but the 20 hours I got out of that game was quite nice, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it quite a lot. Obviously, the soundtrack is something that you can harp on being so great, even though there's a lot of people that game, even though that game didn't sell well, is what I'm gonna say, because it really didn't sell that well. I don't know if though. I hope they still do like Tony Hawk's Underground 1 and 2, which is what I really, really want. Yeah. But if they don't, it'll suck. But we at least got Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, which was extremely fun. And it's basically kind of the pinnacle of what I point towards now of like the way you should do a remake. And now Demon's Souls is one of those as well. But it's like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. Like that is how you do a remake. That's how you add new things to a game. That's how you keep the old stuff in the game. That's how you update a game to be just so good. So I really liked it, but not quite the top 10. Not quite. On to you.
My last one is Doom Eternal. Because that game deserves a shout out somewhere.
It does.
Just playing it for 30 minutes on the couch with the surround system and stuff like that. Getting to hear the sound design on that game is amazing. Soundtrack is amazing.
3D audio and that Dolby Atmos.
There's very few games that make you feel as badass as that one does.
Yep. And I think Chance put it perfectly. It's like it feels more of a platform and a collectathon. Like a Doom game, and I love it.
Yeah, I like that too. I know a lot of people don't, but it's like it still allows you to get in that flow state you usually can with Doom.
Switching guns, setting people on fire, chainsaw.
And you still have that, and then it feels like the world opens up a little more when you add that platforming aspect to it. I think it's a very good game, and the franchise is still going in a good direction. So
100%.
That's my final honorable mention. Chance.
My final one is, which I'm surprised y'all haven't said, or it might be in y'all's top 10 or Tim's top 10, is an indie game called Spiritfarer.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And this is probably probably not the most emotional game I played, but up
close.
there with The Last of Us.
It's close.
As one of the most emotional games I played this year.
And personally, I think 50% of that comes down to that hug mechanic, dude.
Yes.
Hugging those people and the animation is just so good. Oh, I'm tearing up right now.
It's I'm losing my train of thought. The soundtrack is amazing.
I agree.
The art style is amazing. The characters are like it's 2D,
flushed
but
out.
They feel alive.
Yeah,
to me.
yeah. No, I agree. They feel flushed out and like fully realized. Like what they
and
they
building your boat up to being this. I want to say it's basically a hotel for spirits. And hearing these people's stories throughout the game, and then taking them to the final door is just wrecked me, man.
Yeah, it's. I would describe it as a game about death, even though that sounds really dark. The game isn't a dark game. It's very uplifting. Even though it's about making the spirits move on to the next life or whatever. It still feels it's beautiful. I think beautiful is one of the best words you can use to describe it. And yeah, again, the animation, the art style, I do agree on all of those fronts. It's superb. And the characters, the characters are so good. But yeah, I do agree also. Just building up that boat just feels so good. Just being able to, but I'm a sucker for like hub bases and building up hub bases. So I'm a big sucker for that. But I do agree that is also a pretty good part of the game. Just watching everything evolve and doing all the quests and stuff. Also, I haven't played it in co-op, but I heard the co-op is really good.
I didn't know I had co-op.
Yeah, you can play co-op. Like someone plays as the cat, and they can do all the same stuff. They can run around the boat. They can.
Can they hug?
They can fish. They can hug. They can do all the stuff. They can feed people. They can I really think you and Kylie should play through the game together.
I want to play Stardew first though.
Yeah, that would be a nice one. You might have to hop me on that train.
Can you play more than 2?
Yeah, it's 4 players.
Oh.
You might want to hop me
Chance?
on there too.
Yeah, Chance. Yeah, hold up. We might have to plan this out because I will play through Stardew again. Okay. Because nothing comes out till like the end of January.
Yeah.
And that's just an indie game called The
We're still kind of on break, so.
Yeah. So.
Top 10 time.
Top 10 time. Let's get into the list proper. I'm going to start it off with my number 10. I know this might be a little controversial because considering the original game did not come out this year, but the new version of this game came out this year. That's why I included it. Tetris Effect Connected is my number 10 for top 10 games of the year.
Pog, dude. It's my number 10 as well.
Is it? Okay, cool. Okay. Yeah, so Tetris Effect Connected, I don't know, man. It's just great. And for being on Game Pass, to not have to pay for it, right? Well, I guess technically you're paying for it, but to not have to pay for it is great. And it's just, I don't know. It's just so good.
Here's what the game does well. Obviously, the soundtrack's good.
Yes.
But the soundtrack is built to pull you into the flow state that Tetris is known for. And it creates this world around you when you're in the flow state. Because normally
it's reactive.
I played Tetris 99 a lot when it came out. I like playing Tetris a lot.
Me too. It's a perfect game almost.
Most of the time you're just in the flow staring at the screen. But when you have that music and everything inside.
And the particles and the ambiance coming around.
It feels so much more like you're helping build something. Which this sounds all like cheesy and stuff. But you're actually you're building something and I don't know, man. It's a lot bigger than just playing Tetris.
Yeah, I agree.
You play it.
And also the soundtrack being reactive to when you twist the pieces and lock the pieces in, you get specific notes. Anyone who's played Ape Out will understand that what I'm talking about there of an Ape Out. Every time you grab someone or push someone or throw someone against a wall, it adds to the mix, like the sound mix. And I think Tetris Effect does it a lot better than Ape Out, but and also that's because Ape Out is more chaotic and jazzy than the Tetris Effect, which has a wide range of genres. And I've saved multiple songs from the Tetris Effect soundtrack onto my Spotify.
I think it'd be criminal if you were a Tetris fan or anybody who, if you know how to play Tetris, is really what it comes out to. You should at least try it.
At least try it because it's wonderful. It's just a wonderful experience. So that's 2 points for Tetris Effect Connected right there, Jordan. Go ahead and give it.
That was both of our number 10s. What about you, Chance?
My number 10 is, this might be controversial, but Super Mario 3D All Stars.
That is controversial.
Controversial? Why?
I think
Because
so.
it's 3 games that came out 10 years ago, 20 years ago.
That's not why I think it's controversial, but.
Oh, well, also, yeah, because it's not really a real remake. It's just
That's fair.
That's fair.
Emulator. But it's Super Mario 64 and it's Super Mario Galaxy. Like, you can't go wrong with that.
Some of the best games of all time. Well, I don't like 64, but I know. I can understand why a lot of people, love it.
Even if it's not completely remade, they're
good games.
Two of the best games ever.
So, I didn't put it on my list because I just didn't want to. That sounds weird, but I mean, like, it's just like the list I was making. I was like, this doesn't fit on this list for the same reasons the rest of these games fit on this list.
That's 1 point for All Stars, by the way.
Because for me, it was a wonderful gaming experience to replay those games at 100% those games. So if this was like a top 10 gaming experiences of 2020, it'd be like number 3 for me or something like that. But I totally agree that it's a good. It's good to be able to play those games again.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of bullshit around them. And there's a lot I can criticize on Nintendo.
It's whatever, man.
For that game.
For $50?
No.
Play that any day.
I mean,
it's worth it.
I bought it, but I would be remiss if I also didn't talk about how bullshit it is that thing exists. But I'll have to talk about that. So you're number 10. I like it. Good slot. I'm glad it's not higher, but that's for own personal.
Well, that's why I put it at number 10 because
yeah, fair enough. So that's 1 point for Mario 3D All Stars. My number 9 is Hades.
This is criminal.
I know it's criminal that it's so low for a lot of people. I'm sorry. I had so much more enjoyable experiences than Hades this year, but I will have to talk about how much I love Hades because I mean it's a superb game. The art style, the music, the gameplay. I think Hades has some of the best combat gameplay just in a game, period. In terms of like responsiveness, you feel like a badass. Hades is one of those games because in so many games nowadays you'll play and Smash. It happens a lot, but it happens a lot in fighting games specifically, and it happens in other games too, where you just feel like the reason you died or the reason that you got set back or something bad happened to you is not your own fault because what you intended to do was not what happened. And I think in Hades, I don't think there was ever a single point in time where something happened on screen that I didn't intend to do. I never miss input. Everything was perfect. Like every button press, everything was just so responsive. It wasn't like, weird frames or weird hitboxes. It was like everything is sleek.
If you lost it, it was because you got way too far and you were like way under leveled, or you're just ass.
Or you were like, I fucked up. I never felt like anything that happened in the game that sucked was on the game. I always felt like it was on me. Everything was just so good. And obviously the stories between all of the characters as you go through is just perfection. And again,
acting's amazing.
Yeah, the soundtrack, super good.
I'll have more to say later.
Yeah, and it's just super good. But that's all I got to say. That's 2 points for Hades, Jordan. If you
My number 9, controversial.
Oh no.
Paper Mario and Origami King.
Why we said controversial so many times already. And honestly, I'm shook that this has made your top 10.
Dude, looking back on it, I enjoyed playing this game a lot.
Wow.
I loved the humor in this game.
I think this is why this podcast works. Because I'm on the aggressive opposite of
I
where
know,
you are in this game.
So there's a wide range of,
God, I hate that game.
Someone will always find something to disagree with.
I think I put 30 hours or 20 hours.
And you gave up like right before the final boss.
Yeah, stuff. I was like 40 minutes from the end, and God, that game can't do it.
I enjoyed that game a lot.
I hate it. I'm glad you enjoyed it though.
I
know Trey
like
enjoyed it. I know Trey enjoyed it too.
The humor just hit for me.
And I will say the humor for me also hit.
That's one of the parts. I will admit there are some moments where that game is like too long. Like when you're in the desert, that was too long.
Yes,
should have kept me moving.
I think one of the most critical things that I could say about the game, not to just shit on everyone's top 10 list, right, is the fact that for me the combat, it just felt so stale after a while. It was just like I wanted to be in a boss fight constantly because that's when the fights got interesting, and a lot of the regular combat was like repeated puzzles that I just knew how to complete that were like the same, or it was just because I had a plethora of coins, it was like, I'm just going to spend my coins on them doing the fight for me. Yet I'm going to have to go through all of these animations, and it's just going to take time. And that's where.
Yeah.
So maybe if I just played it differently and didn't do that every time, I would have a lot more fun. But specifically for me, that's where it fell short. But that's why it's not on my top 10. But you enjoyed it a lot more than I did. So.
Yep. Chance.
My number 9 is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2.
Of course.
Okay.
And it's number 9 because
That's 2 points for Origami King, 2 points for Tony Hawk.
like Tim said earlier, when you think of a remake, this is if you're a game company and you want to remake an old game, look at Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, and if your game isn't like that, then don't do it.
Scrap the whole thing.
I truly agree. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater was a game I constantly used as a point for 3D All Stars of like the wide range of different types of quote unquote remakes.
Yeah, and like they got all the soundtrack, the original soundtrack is there, everything is there.
Mm-hmm.
Plus,
Crazy.
they added more stuff, they updated the graphics. It's just
The graphics are really good.
like amazing.
And all the new stuff is it's super integrated, and it doesn't feel like intrusive, like it's ruining the game right now.
And it feels just like it did when I played it on the was it PlayStation 2 or PlayStation 1?
See,
I don't remember.
I think I'm gonna disagree with that statement. For me, I think the statement personally is it feels like how I remember it feeling.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
like how I remember the game being is how it feels.
I don't remember. I don't have a PlayStation 2.
Mm-hmm. So can't go back and play.
But what I remember it was, this is exactly what it was.
Yeah.
And it's a game that I still want to go back to and keep playing it because there's so many challenges there that I just want to keep doing. And it's just amazing.
Comfort food going forward. I agree. That's 2 points for Tony Hawk. My number 8 on the top 10 games of 2020 is Ghost of Tsushima. I know a lot of people would have put this higher, but I have reasons for why there's games above it. And I will get into those when I get to those games, obviously. But Ghost of Tsushima, man, that is a good game. I don't know if either of y'all play. Did you play it? Did you even play it, Chance?
No, I was, but I didn't.
It is superb. I think obviously the compliments I can give it are the combat is really good. The arts, I'm gonna say art style, but I just don't like to say art style for those more realistic looking games.
The cinematics.
The aesthetic of the game is really good. The colors are always popping. I think the story is a little lacking, but just everywhere else is just super good. And the reason I think the story is lacking because it just feels weird to introduce these ghost mechanics and then the narrative shit on you for using them, because that's kind of how it happens. I understand why they had to do that because of the story that they went for, but it just felt a little weird. But I platinumed that game, and it's a really good game. And if you haven't played Ghost of Tsushima, you are definitely missing out. And that's just another banger by Sucker Punch. Can't wait to see what they do next. If they do Ghost 2, if they get back into the infamous game, I don't know what they're gonna do. But Ghost of Tsushima was definitely a better foray into a new IP. Unlike, was that Santa Monica that did Days Gone?
I think so.
No, that was Sony Bend. Sony Bend did Days Gone, and that was not as good of an attempt at a new IP as Ghost of Tsushima was for me. Even though I think Days Gone is a decent game, I think it kind of fell short in a lot of areas for them. Whereas Ghost of Tsushima really rose the bar for Sucker Punch, in my opinion.
Number that's 3 points for Ghost.
3 points for Ghost.
My number 8 is Cyberpunk. The past 2 episodes have all been completely about Cyberpunk, so there's not too much to say. That game could have been in my top 3, maybe.
There's just
it's an experience, man. And the way I talk about it, it doesn't sound like it should even be top 10.
Yeah,
but there are a lot of redeeming qualities.
I agree.
That are just, I guess, pretty slightly above average qualities.
3 points for Cyberpunk.
I don't know. I wish it was just better. Dude, I don't know what to say, man. I've said so much about Cyberpunk. I'm just tired of talking about it.
I agree. It's been a long month.
I still think it's a wait. Just wait and play it in March.
Wait till March.
Definitely not a skip forever.
Not a skip.
But yeah, definitely wait, because you might have a top 3 experience with it.
I agree.
So,
and if you're on, people with the next gen or not next gen, like a really high end PC rig, a lot of the stuff we're saying doesn't make any sense to you because it really is like you're playing a different game. So if you have a super high-end PC rig, you'd be remiss not to play this game, and I do think it would be a top 2 experience for you specifically. What is your number 8, Chance?
You're gonna hate me.
Oh
no.
Final Fantasy VII Remake.
I'm not gonna hate you.
I'm gonna hate you for putting this so low.
All the way at number 8.
Man, it really kind of blows my mind that you're having so much fun with Dragon Quest XI's and you've put Final Fantasy VII Remake at number 8. But okay, I'll let you speak.
I don't know. Something about this game didn't click with me, and the entire time I was playing it, I wanted to be playing something else. But I knew everyone loved it so much, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep trying, I'm gonna keep going. And just like there were moments, really good moments, like the flower, Aerith, like that was a really great moment. But then at the same time, 5 minutes later, I'm squeezing through 10 cracks.
I agree.
Can't.
Hopefully with next gen, with part 2, we might be able to solve this problem because obviously that's loading, and masking loading. But there is a lot of squeezing through cracks.
Yeah.
But like even like in the village where like that village with the kids.
Yeah, when you go to the secret area.
Yeah.
The secret area, like there's no reason. There's
yeah.
a crack right there, and I had to go back there so many times. Anyways, those are things that stuck with me. It's not something that ruined the game for me, but like
I mean, obviously you got to know it.
I think about when I think about Final Fantasy VII Remake, I think about Aerith and squeezing through cracks and the ending, which was weird.
Yeah, we don't want to spoil the ending, but it is weird. I do agree. Wow. Okay, that's 3 points for Final Fantasy VII Remake. Jordan, if you will. So my number 7 is Mike's number 8, Cyberpunk 2077. This actually I had at the number 3 spot until I finished the game, and that's not because the ending was bad, but it's just my experience with bugs grew immensely.
Yeah, I think I had this at 5 when I initially put it on here, and then I was like,
during the last sequence of the game, the point of no return, when you hit the point of no return and beyond that, the amount of bugs and checkpoint loading I had to do was insane. The emotional moments that were supposed to hit at the end of that game for me just didn't because of visual glitches and stuff. But again, I agree with Mike. There is a ton of redeeming qualities to Cyberpunk 2077. There is a beautiful game there. There is a good game. The story, I think, is good. The choice, even though a lot of the early choices don't really help, like make that much of a difference, once you get later into the game, they start to make a lot more difference. The customization is insane.
Yeah, the customization is where you really get into the depth of the game.
The ability,
how you build your character.
Yeah, the ability to change. Like your playstyle was completely different from mine with using handguns and me using blades. Mine was to sneak around, and then if I got caught, to aggressively run, sprint, dash to slice people's heads off right with the blade. And I didn't shoot a gun unless I couldn't reach an enemy, right? And I had to shoot a gun there after like halfway through. But my experience was completely different from yours, and that's cool.
Yeah.
And you know, there's a lot of stuff about this game that falls short, but I do think there's a lot there to enjoy and to have fun with, and that's why me and Mike continue to say it's not a skip. It is definitely a wait till March. I don't think you should skip this game. I think it would be dumb to do so. I definitely think you should play it. But in the state that it is now, maybe wait on it. And maybe in retrospect, like let's say I had waited until the update and then played the game during the update. This might be in the top 3, top 5 instead of at the number 7 spot. But it's just hard to look past all of those things. But number 7, so that's 4 points for Cyberpunk 2077. Jordan, if you would.
My number 7, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition.
Oh shit!
This one I wasn't sure about putting on the list for the same reasons as Mario.
Yeah, that kind of caught me off guard.
But I honestly forgot I played it this year.
Yeah,
and it wasn't like early in the year; it was the middle of the year. I enjoyed this game a lot. I go back and forth on whether I like this one more than the second one or anything like that. But the characters are actually really good. The world that is created in Xenoblade is great. The extra stuff they added in the Definitive Edition, the post-game stuff, was cool. I wasn't as into that as the original game because this was the first time I'd played Xenoblade Chronicles. If you don't know, it was ported from the Wii U. And I'm so glad this franchise has made it onto the Switch.
Yeah.
Because I think so many people would have missed out on a great game if it hadn't.
I agree.
And it's a really good JRPG. I don't know if I'd recommend it.
Xenoblade 2 is one of the few JRPGs I got really far into.
It's a cool world. If you don't know, the whole world is you're on these titans. You live on these huge masses that are just actual living beings as well. And so you traverse through like the shoulder of a titan or something like that. And it's just really cool. I can praise this game all day. I don't know if I like it more than like Persona or something.
Yeah.
Like if I was to recommend like what JRPG to play first, I don't know. I think I'd probably go Persona before this, but it's still a really good one. If you have a Switch and you want to play a JRPG or something, I'd recommend it. It's fun.
Okay. Number 7 for you, Chance Rainer.
7 for me is Doom Eternal.
Doom Eternal.
I played this, like a month ago or so,
and
I slept on it. But
Me too.
I loved it.
Me too.
Like you said, it's a platformer and a collectathon, and that is right up my alley. Plus, first-person shooter. So those three are like
the perfect mix.
What I play.
Yeah.
And that's just what made this game amazing.
All the things you love mixed
Michael
into one.
The flow of Doom. You feel that in this game, just like you felt in 2016.
I think the addition of the aerial dashes and stuff like that really make it stand above 2016.
The handlebars that let you jump up higher, and I feel like it's all one motion. Like for me when I was playing, you never really stop and have to you stop moving and then look around for the enemies. For me, it just felt like I was just constantly moving, circling the arena, shooting barrels that I'm passing by, or
picking up armor,
like that.
ammo.
Yeah.
And the like.
It was a really good Doom game, and I can't wait for what they do next.
Yeah. You got the DLC, the whatever the gods or whatever, Destruction of the Gods or something. I don't know.
Is that out or is it?
The part 1 is, not part 2. That's 4 points for Doom Eternal. My number 6 is Animal Crossing New Horizons. I gotta include this in here. One of the best games of the year. If you want to.
5 points.
Yeah, 5 points. I'm stupid. 5 points for Animal Crossing New Horizons. There's a ton I could say about this game. Really, the entire reason I think the majority of us, and I think I speak for everyone when I say this. I think one of the entire reasons we played this game was because of you, Chance. I don't think a lot of us would have got into it had you not been so excited, right, and got us to play it and just been so fucking stoked for this game. I don't think a lot of us would have played it, and I'm so glad we ended up doing that because in March, when the pandemic was first picking up, this was like a perfect getaway from the crazy shit that was happening.
Hey, spring break's gonna be 2 weeks instead of 1. We're like, oh boy.
It turns out spring break's an entire year, but it was so fun to just play this game and to have those early days when everything was locking down, like 11 TVs or just 11 screens with Animal Crossing on it. Isaiah bringing up his little setup, setting it up. We had a TV here, TV on the left, TV on the right, TV in someone's room, people on the couch on their handheld, someone on the Switch Lite. We even got. I think Animal Crossing it can be attributed to.
Well, I'll talk about that one.
Okay. And there's just a lot of stuff that you could talk about with this game that's just amazing. But there is a lot of stuff you can criticize it for. There's a lot of stuff that was, especially for Animal Crossing diehards that was missing, and a lot of people complain it wasn't a complete game. And I think the multiplayer is atrocious the way they do that.
It's got that classic Nintendo touch of like, where are these couple key features that would just make this game phenomenal?
Let's just fuck them up.
Yeah.
Like this game does so much perfect, but there's just specific areas where it's like, what were you thinking? Like, why do I have to wait when someone, like all the loading screens when someone's coming to my island?
Or like, why can I only have one island on my Switch?
Yeah, why can't I have multiple islands, dude? It doesn't make any sense. But despite those things, Animal Crossing New Horizons is an amazing game, and I played it constantly for like a good month and a half. So that is my number 6. Your number 6.
Where are we at? Number 6?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this one is an assumed. I haven't finished it. Miles Morales.
Okay.
I know it would end up somewhere on this list, so I put it in the middle because this is right now it's probably like a 7. I know it would go up. This game, it's just so fun, man. Every time I boot it up, I just want to swing around for like 20 minutes and not do anything else.
Yeah.
And there's very few
games
on
walls, jump through fire escapes.
There's very few games that like have that kind of feeling of like, I don't need to be going from quest marker to quest marker to be having fun.
Mm-hmm.
I can just explore the map and be fine. And that's one of the games that does that. Of course, everything else in the game is great too. I love Miles' family.
Mm-hmm.
I've always loved his story more than
Peter Parker. Yeah. Maybe because we've heard it a million times, but
maybe. But I don't know. The only gripes I have with this game are the combat. I've talked to you about it before. I don't know why. I'm just bad at it.
Dude, watching you play that.
Okay, that was worse than normal. That shouldn't count. I think I'm slightly below average. Shut up, bro. I don't know. I can't get a feel for it to hit it 100%. I mean, I finished all the challenges. I was able to do everything fine.
Yeah.
I just never felt like I can't get into the flow state with this game like I can other fighting or other games, combat systems.
Yeah.
I thrive for a lock-on system. There's no lock-on in this game. Not a problem for Tim. Problem for me.
Yep.
That's just I guess the way we played.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, this game's phenomenal.
I agree.
A very good follow-up to
Spider-Man PS4.
Yep.
Good stuff. Your number 6, Chance. Where you at? That's 5 points for Spider-Man.
My number 6 is Ori and the Will of the Wisp.
5 points for Ori.
We talked about it earlier, and yeah, it's just the soundtrack, the art style. It's a beautiful game, and one thing I would like to say about it is it's a Metroidvania, and in my Xbox year in review or whatever, or history, I have like 0 hours in Metroidvanias.
Yeah, except Ori.
Except Ori. Ori's the only Metroidvania that I love to play.
So I got a question for you.
And yeah.
Is it better than the original?
I think it's better.
I would agree.
I'm asking you too.
I would agree. Yes, I think it's better than the original.
Okay.
It's just the original with more and just just more refined. It's
also it has that base building aspect that me and Tim love.
Yeah, you got
so
I love that hub world base building.
Yeah, and I want to say I did go back and play it on the Series X, and my God,
a lot better.
That is a game that needs to be played only on that console.
Yeah, because it with old gen, there's a lot of like stuttering and the game frame rate drops when you open menus and stuff, but a lot of that is fixed on next gen, which is nice. My number 5. Actually, before I go to my number 5, you played Hollow Knight, Chance?
I played like 5 or so hours of it.
Couldn't get into it.
I couldn't.
Damn. Okay. My number 5 is Assassin's Creed Valhalla. What can I say about Assassin's Creed Valhalla? A lot, actually. The combat is amazing. The story is good. I didn't finish the game. I would like that to be known. I got about, I think my clock currently is at like 43, 44 hours in. I think one of the biggest praises I can give Assassin's Creed Valhalla is I think all open world games from here unto infinity should look to Valhalla in terms of how to design side quests. Because I think the side quests, the little blue markers that you get on the map in Valhalla, are amazing. Okay, and I think they're some of the best in open world.
Not even just the markers. The way that you only see what's around you, right? In Cyberpunk, you saw everything
is on the
from
map.
The top of the map
when you go to
the bottom to areas you haven't even been yet.
Yeah.
It showed you every little question mark. Overwhelming. Valhalla, it's like I only have 7 dots.
Yeah.
So it's not nearly.
I'm not going to get more till I go out in that direction.
It's like, of course, there's infinitely more as I expand, but
and I agree on that front. But specifically talking about the design, the way those side quests play out is perfect. None of them are too long. None of them are too short. They're perfectly concise and just good. The stories in them are good. It doesn't feel like go kill 5 hogs, go do this. Like there's the one person that was like, bring me 10 viper eggs, but that didn't feel tedious
because they were right out the door.
Yeah, and it was the conclusion to that is rewarding and it's funny and you love it. And I think open world games from here into infinity should look to Valhalla for how to design side quests. And I know a lot of people in terms of how much Valhalla is a Assassin's Creed game. A lot of people, are down on it for that specific area. I like the more modern Assassin's Creeds compared to the older ones a lot more. Like I think Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla are leagues above the older games. I know that's sometimes a controversial take with people. That's just my preference here. And And I love Vikings. And again, like me and Chance talked about, the base building. It's just great. So that's why I love Assassin's Creed Valhalla. 6 points for Assassin's Creed Valhalla for me on my number 5.
For my number 5, Among Us. For the same reasons I'll talk about Animal Crossing later, it's it's a phenomenon. I love games where the whole house can get involved and everybody's excited about it.
I agree.
And for being as small as it was so much fun.
Such a moment.
I've always loved the lie to your friends games.
What do you call those?
I don't know.
They're just like mafia likes, I guess.
Yeah.
Social deduction. Thank you. Yeah. 6 points for Among Us.
We've played a lot of them. There's one on Jackbox called Faking It.
Faking It. Doesn't even
Werewolf, some of that stuff. The thing with those ones is they usually get old. We watched a whole video on it.
Yeah.
Where they talked about why Among Us is just better than these other ones.
And I think it comes down to like tasks. Just being able to do tasks, and when you're dead, being able to still do stuff.
You feel like you're always able to do something. And there's multiple ways to win, so that's nice too. And then I don't know. This is just such a fun game.
I agree.
I don't think anybody's not played it or at least not seen it. So it's not like I'm trying to recommend it to you. It was just such a good experience. And we're still looking forward to playing it with a new map. My only nitpick is that I wish they'd hire some more people.
Yeah.
Because they're rolling in it.
Oh,
like, get
they
some
hired one guy
going.
because they were 3. They hired a dude. Well, they hired a chick.
Yeah, but probably social media, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So like, I didn't mean to make that sound like weird or anything. It's just like I assume that's what they needed at the time with someone to manage their social media presence. But I wish they were rolling out the content.
Yeah, I agree.
Because you got the team there. It doesn't seem like it'd be that complicated. The design is probably the place where you need to spend the most time.
You gotta hire people.
But the map exists. Give it to me, man. I want to play.
I agree. That game. Me too.
So 6 points for Among Us.
Your number 5, Chance. What is
it? Hades. And I want to preface this
6 more points for Hades.
I only cleared it one time.
Ooh.
So I never beat it, right?
Again.
Don't you have to clear it like 10 times?
10 times. I cleared it 5 or 6.
I only did it once. I don't know why I didn't go back. I was having a blast with it.
Probably something came
out. I think that's probably why it's only at number 5. But yeah, the combat, the visuals, I love the voice acting.
Oh, yeah, so phenomenal.
Good. Yeah. Meg always stood out to me.
Yeah.
I talked to her because like her voice, I wouldn't call it a good voice, but it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's just, I agree. I think it's perfectly done. Again, like I said, with Phoenix Rising, I love Greek mythology. So seeing all like the little tiny things that they added with from stories from Greek mythologies is great. So yeah, it's a great game that everyone should play.
I agree holistically. It's fantastic. My number 4 is Demon's Souls Remake for the PS5. This game's great. That's 7 points for Demon's Souls. I'm pretty sure I'm the only one who has this on my list.
A true gamer's game.
That's mainly because you don't have PS5s, and then obviously you're not into Dark Souls, but I don't think Chance is either. But there's a lot I could say about Demon's Souls. I platinumed it. Obviously, I went through, beat it 3 times, got the platinum. Actually, I had to beat it 4 times because I screwed up some stuff, but got the platinum. That game's good, and I'm glad that is technically completed the list of. I've now played all the FromSoft games, I guess, technically. Sure, I didn't play the original Demon's Souls if you want to give me on
who cares?
On those semantics, but this is Demon's Souls. It's I think the definitive version of the game, and I like it a lot, and it was so fun, and I think they just got away in the later games in terms of level design. I think Demon's Souls has some shortcomings, but also is a lot better with and Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Sekiro, all those games. There's so many checkpoints like throughout a specific level where you can get through all these like bonfires. But the way Demon's Souls designs it is they don't have that. They have one bonfire at the beginning of the level, and they just rely more on opening shortcuts from that bonfire. And those are like some of my favorite levels from like Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 3 is those ones that's like a central bonfire and maybe an extra bonfire, doesn't really matter. And checkpoints that open up in unique ways, a wall that gets blasted open or something, an elevator that opens up that you didn't know was there. Stuff like that. That's how they do it. You have this bonfire, and that bonfire, you have to run all the way to the boss or get through open up checkpoints to make it easier to get to that boss. Once you beat that boss, that's a new bonfire for the entire next area that's designed the same way. And I love that level design compared to the Dark Souls games as a whole. And obviously I think the combat's good. And even though you're not into Demon Souls or Dark Souls, you can acknowledge that it's a beautiful game.
It was a very good looking game.
Visually, it's incredible. But number four for me, 7 points.
Go ahead and give 7 points over here to my number 4, Animal Crossing: New Horizons. We touched on it. Obviously, I enjoy it for a lot of the same reasons you do. But I'll try and cover something that we didn't talk about. Kylie, friend of the show, girlfriend of the show. Relax, bro. This was like her foray into
getting into games,
and it's great to be able to share this experience with her and watch her play, and just see her enjoy the same things I get to enjoy.
It was so cool to watch that happen for y'all, because I'm always trying to get people who aren't into games, right? And I'm still trying with Adriana. I don't know. I don't think I'm succeeding.
You're always looking for the game.
Yeah, you're just trying to find the one that gets them, right? And it's hard for a lot of people because a lot of people aren't open-minded to this type of stuff. So there's some people that just never will get into games. Yeah. And I was kind of worried that Kylie would never. Not worried. I don't want to say worried, but just experiencing things that you enjoy as a collective. You want other people to enjoy. Like, we can all enjoy film. Like, we all watch movies and we love them. But we don't all love video games. And to see Kylie's like transition from just not really playing anything except some shitty mobile game or some Facebook game into like buying an Animal Crossing Switch. Right? Was so cool to see.
And so, I mean, that's been phenomenal for me. Of course, I love the game too. If you go back, I posted my Nintendo statistics, March 20th, the big day for me, as I'm sure many people's was. It was just a great time. I haven't gone back and played it. I don't think I ever could. But it was just such a good experience at the time that I have nearly only good things to say. The only bad thing, which is why Kylie ended up with her own Switch in the first place.
Yep.
We couldn't share an island, man.
Yeah, couldn't have separate islands.
It's too much, man. I want to do this. She wants to do that. Like, all right, just go get you a Switch.
Yeah, go get you a Switch. But now she has 2 of them.
Yep.
She has more Switches than we do.
Hey, I have a hot date in 25 minutes.
I know you have a hard out. Do you have to leave at 8 or do you have to leave before?
I could probably schmoove a little at 8.
You have to leave at 8? Okay.
Probably a little room for schmoovement there.
Okay. So I got a timer. I see it.
All right,
so we'll keep going as normal. If we have to, we'll have you do like 2 or 3 in a row and then dip and we'll finish. Okay. If we have to. So your number 4, Chance. What is it?
This is platformer of the year, Crash Bandicoot 4.
Wow.
What
a
good pick.
If you only play one platformer a year, I want you to play Crash 4.
Okay.
Because it's not done poorly. It's Activision, so it's not done half-assed or anything like that. It's got the worlds are there. Hell, I thought the game was over like twice, and then it was like, nope, you still got a couple more worlds to go.
Not in a negative way.
And not in a negative way. But it just everything that Crash 1 through 3 was when I was a kid, or what I remember it being when I was a kid, that's what
the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater type of thing. Right?
Yeah, I do recall.
It's not a remake, I guess.
I do recall getting plenty of Snapchats. Of the Crash trilogy being, a great game for you.
Yeah,
but it seems cool. I have it on my Xbox. I still haven't got to it, but it's sitting there.
Really, you have it?
Yeah, because you bought it, so I have it.
Oh, yeah. There's just not enough I can say about it. Like, playing it, it felt like Crash, Warped or Crash. Any other Crash that's not the first 3. They don't really feel like Crash. I mean, they are Crash, but yeah, it's a back to form, and I can't wait for Crash 5 because I know they're gonna knock it out of the park even more. The visuals on it, the way you can replay levels and get new stuff.
Yeah.
Just replaying the levels in a different way, amazing. Also has one of the biggest. Wow, I can't believe they did that at the end of the game.
Really?
That I never expected to come.
You love to see it.
Amazing.
I mean, so many people have praised Crash 4. It's about time throughout the year. So That's one of those ones that I've been wanting to get to, but I just haven't got to it yet because that's usually not my type of game. But a lot of people who that game is not their type of game have been enjoying it. So on to my number 3, Spider-Man Miles Morales. That's 8 points for Spider-Man. Well, 8 more points, I guess. I finished that a few days ago, 2 or 3 days ago. And I'm on the complete opposite side of the spectrum when it comes to the combat. I think that combat is superb. I think it's great. I
never said it was bad.
Yeah, I know.
I said I'm bad.
And I think it's better than Spider-Man PS4, simply with the addition of the Venom powers and the camouflage powers. Because it's just Spider-Man PS4 with this other stuff that's cool. And the combat is changed so much, in my opinion, with the Venom powers, because you can do, like, there's 4 different Venom power things that you can do once you get, like, halfway through the game. And being able to alternate between those or picking which one to do is just great. I never had a problem with the lock-on, because if I didn't see an enemy in front of me, I would just hit L1 and square, which is the Venom punch, and I would Venom punch towards the nearest enemy, and the camera would flip, or I would hit the triangle button and I would web dash towards the nearest enemy. So I never really had a problem with the lock-on, but it just felt so good to dodge bullets, slide under people's legs, just the classic stuff, launch people in the air, slam them back down. And it's the same thing that I loved Spider-Man PS4 for, which was just the amount of different things you can do and being able to chain them together in different ways. You can punch someone up in the air and you can do a combo in the air, or you can yank them back down to the ground, or you can do a swing kick on them in the air and then pull them back towards you, or you can be in the air and pull someone up towards you, or you can jump onto a wall and jump off, or you can web someone to a wall. You just have so many options that you can do, and to alternate between those makes you feel like Spider-Man. And obviously, and also is what I'm going to say. I think the traversal is better with the Venom powers, because you can use them in the air as well. You can Venom jump and Venom dash in the air while traversing the city, and I think that makes the traversal even better. And I think they did better with the animations on the tricks in this one. They just feel like from a trick to a swing, just the animation is like fluid and it feels perfect.
I will say they did a good job at making you feel like you were swinging with a different person. You felt like you were swinging with Miles instead of Peter.
Yeah, not as talented or skillful,
or smooth with it.
And it was really good. And I think the story, obviously you haven't finished, but I have. I think the story is quite good, and it's a story of like inclusion and of the like and love and all that. And I love that, like having the deaf girl that he talks to in the game is super cool, and I love that they include that. The discussion on race, and obviously because he's half, I don't know, is it Filipino? No, I don't know. Puerto Rican. Yeah, he's half Puerto Rican, half African American. Obviously he has the 2 different heritages, and those clash, and they speak on that in the game. And I just love that type of stuff. And this game really hit home for me in a ton of ways, and that was one of them. And I do think the story is really good. I was crying, which is good. If I'm crying, it's good. Well, not yet.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, Spider-Man Miles Morales. Go ahead and give that 8 points. Well, 8 more points, and there you go. That's
While you're up there, give 8 more points to Final Fantasy VII for my 3rd pick.
Final Fantasy VII Remake.
This is one of those games I enjoyed a lot more, or it moved up my list throughout the year.
As you thought back on it.
Yeah, instead of most games, which usually move down. I think I had a really good experience playing this. The qualms I do have with this game, hopefully get fixed in the next one, because my biggest problems were with the ending and the story. I just don't know. So I'm excited to at least see what they're gonna try and do. The same problems Chance have. I agree. They don't hurt me as much, at least for my score on the game. It was just a really good experience. I enjoyed that world a lot. Just good things to say, but we'll talk about it more when we get to it.
Yep. It's on my list.
Chance, what about your number 3?
Number 3 for you, Chance.
My number 3 is Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Lower than I thought, actually.
And really, and it's an Assassin's Creed game, but it's a new Assassin's Creed game, but it's not like Odyssey.
Yeah.
Which is why I think it was so low, because I really enjoyed Odyssey. Or not so low, but lower than it could have been. Because I really loved Odyssey, and it didn't hit like Odyssey did, but yeah. But I also think, as an Assassin's Creed fan, I think it has one of the best endings for that story.
Maybe it'll rise up
for
my
that
list.
Story, I think it has one of the best.
The sibling story.
Huh?
The sibling part of the story,
or is it?
No,
don't
like
spoil it. Don't spoil.
The replications it has for the overall story of Assassin's Creed.
I was just wondering if you meant like the overworld stuff or like
Mm-hmm.
actually like Ivor's story.
And yeah, I love it. It's more Assassin's Creed. I don't think I'm ever gonna not love Assassin's Creed unless
Yeah.
it's Assassin's Creed 3. And
A lot of
So,
people shit
yeah.
on that one. Well, that's a good solid number 3. On to my number 2. Go ahead and give 9 points to The Last of Us Part 2. There is a ton I could say about this game. If you want to hear like super in-depth spoilery talk, you can go into our audio feed and find a spoiler cast that we did with Chance and Trey, where we talked in depth about that game. And there's a lot I could say about Last of Us Part 2. I think narratively, and I get this could be controversial in the wide gaming sphere for a lot of people. It's like a 50-50 type of thing. You either loved it or you hated it a lot, apparently. I think the amount of hate that Neil Druckmann gets in his replies and his mentions on Twitter is uncalled for. We shouldn't be so negative online. I think it's muddied the water with people thinking that Neil Druckmann is not accepting any criticism of said game.
Yeah.
Because he specifically a lot of times talks shit on these people who, just read the leaks and are sending him death threats and yada, yada, yada. Because you can have genuine criticisms about this game, and I think that's fine. But the way that a lot of people are doing it online is quite uncalled for. But for me, I think this game narratively does things that I haven't seen before, and I think does exactly what The Last of Us 1 did, which is, I think, pushes forward what games can do when it comes to narrative and story. What they do in this game, I don't want to spoil it, obviously, is just crazy. And when it happened, I was like, I can't believe it. Like you said with Crash Bandicoot, like I cannot believe that they're doing this. And they dedicated themselves to it. And by the time you got to the end, that really hit for me specifically, and I loved it. And I cried a lot. And this was a very dark game, obviously. And unlike pretty much any other game that I played, had a lasting effect on me. For 2 weeks, was really kind of just out of it. Very, a lot of, I don't know what the right term is, just reflecting on just general life after like the darkness you experience with this game, I guess. I don't want to sound super aggressive with it, like to try to scare you away from playing it if you haven't and are thinking about it. It is a good game. And I think it refines a lot of issues on that the first one had, in my opinion.
I'm gonna hop in here because Last of Us 2 is also my number 2 game. And everything you've said is exactly how I feel. The narrative, the characters, the facial animations is one thing I want to.
That animation, man.
It's just a phenomenal game. It's not a perfect game. I have problems with it here and there. It's but yeah, there's no reason it should have got all that hate that it did. Yeah. I think it's one of the best games. It's the number 2 game for me of the year. So yeah.
And I think it's one of the best games just ever made, and just period. And also I think the voice acting is a good thing to harp about. I will also say, just a recommendation here for anyone who wants to consume additional content that's not our own. You can go over to the Kind of Funny YouTube channel or wherever you want to listen to them, I guess. And they have a spoiler cast with Neil Druckmann and Ashley Johnson and Troy Baker, where they talk about this game. And that is a very emotional spoiler cast. And anyone who's played the game that would like more content on it should go watch that if you haven't, because it's quite good and quite emotional. But yeah, this game's just so good. And there's like a ton I could say about it. And I've come close to playing it again so many times. I've actually got halfway through the opening cutscene a couple times, but then had to shut it off just because it's just so aggressively emotional. And there was also other people that I assumed didn't want to watch me bawl. So yeah, that's why it's my number 2. And Chance's number 2.
My number 2 is Assassin's Creed Valhalla. On everybody else's list as well.
Number 9 points for Valhalla. 9 more.
I enjoyed this game a lot, and I haven't finished it, but I'm going to go back to it pretty soon. I'm excited to go back to it. This is my first playthrough of the new Assassin's Creed style of game, and I think it's very good. It feels like when they were making like 3 and 4, they wanted to make this type of game, but they just knew they couldn't. And now that they're actually like just making the type of game I think they want to make, it's just better for them, and they make better games. The base building in this one is great.
Oh, God,
rating is phenomenal.
Oh, I love rating.
Of course, all the mysteries are great. and have each mystery has personality to it in some way.
Mystery being the side quest.
Yeah, and there's just so much fun stuff. Upgrading your armor is great, and the combat is really good too. And it, you're not necessarily encouraged to use different weapons, but you have the options. I think it's too easy to get stuck playing with the same weapons. Just simply be how do they?
I use the double axes for the whole way.
I use an axe and a shield, and I've had a extremely fun time playing that one. And pretty much all good things to say about it. I can't complain about bugs after playing Cyberpunk.
Like there are some visual ones in Valhalla.
Yeah, there's a couple things here and there.
Floating on air, your teammates not helping you open boxes and stuff like that, but
otherwise not nearly as bad. So I enjoy this game a lot, and that's my number 2.
Okay. Since Chance already did his number 2, I will go with my number 1 here.
Okay.
10 points for Final Fantasy VII.
You have a cookie here to reveal
remake
it with.
Yeah. Kylie Arter. Just a little bit ASMR for you.
A little bit ASMR. Hopefully I didn't smudge the art.
You might have. Nope. A little bit.
A little bit.
Kylie Arter.
There's also a cloud
made us
in the kitchen.
These cookies. I don't know how good you can see it in the camera. I'll get as close as possible. But she made us these cookies based off of our.
Get you a bite. ASMR. What?
I'm feeling the cookie. Okay. Yeah. Before I give him the ear. Sorry. I was saying ASMR channel. Pretty good cookie. But yeah, Final Fantasy VII Remake obviously is my number 1 game of the year. Anyone who's listened to any episode of the show, I've probably mentioned how Final Fantasy VII Remake is my favorite game of all time. After playing it this year, so it would be dumb if it wasn't number 1. I'm choking on the cookie.
The cookie wasn't that bad, bro.
Yeah, I know. Oh geez, I'm out of sip too. Oh Lord. Ooh. But yeah, I played it, and I'm tearing up right now because I'm coughing on a cookie. But I pretty much was in a constant state of tearing up throughout the entirety of this game. A lot of that could be contributed to like what was happening in my life around that time. Well, not really my life. My life was fine, but like the pandemic and stuff and the stressfulness of it. So that's what Trey brings up a lot when we have this discussion. But I pretty much cried through the entirety of it. Just every single moment, even that wasn't emotional. There's a Collapsed Expressway song that plays when you meet Aerith and you're walking about to do this stupid ass hand puzzle that is the worst part of the game. Then I had to do a bunch of times because I went for the plat. But on the lead up to that, there's like this specific song that plays that's not very long, and every time I hear it, I just cry because it's just so good. And I did in the game too, and it's just the song. I don't know, but those characters, I love them. I miss them. Just playing that game with them was just great. I can't wait for part 2. I miss those guys. Just the entire cast of characters was amazing and great. Barrett, Aerith, Tifa, even the side characters, were good. There's so many jokes in there that were good. The cross-dressing scene, some of those jokes were good. That sequence was great. Just that game is just a ball of just greatness to me. And I think the combat is good, and it's mainly the narrative and the characters that carried me through it. And I don't want to say carried me through it because I love the rest of the game, but just there's so much about that game and that I could say, but I could spend an hour talking about this, so I'm not going to. But
this game could move up for me as well. Like depending on how the series plays out, this could be like one of my favorite.
That's one of the things that I think I disagree with you on is the ending did do a lot for me. And I know there's a lot of people that it didn't do a lot for. And I'm not going to spoil it because this isn't a spoiler type of thing. But you are in the boat with a lot of people that didn't like it. And I thought maybe it'd be 50-50 between people who played the original and people who didn't, but it doesn't seem to be that way. It seems to be 50-50 with a mix of people who played the original, people who didn't. It doesn't matter. And I didn't play the original, and I love that ending. And Sal did play the original, and he also loved that ending. And it's I don't know. I want to play. I'm gonna go back and play it again on the PS5. But yeah, super good game. Number 1 for me.
Okay. I get a PS5. I want to replay it.
Yeah.
And see if I like it more.
I'm revealing mine via cookie. My number 1 pick for 10 points. Oh, I smudged it a little.
Oh, you smudged it.
No, but it's okay. It's actually like smudged on the
font.
On the font.
You see? You can't really. Yeah. The lighting really does it dirty.
You can totally tell what that says. Hades, baby. Let me get a bite. Let me start choking.
Make sure you got water left, because I didn't, and that was a rough.
Oh, that's a good cookie. No ASMR. Let me swallow before I keep talking. This game, I don't use this word often, but perfect game.
Pretty close.
This is a 10 out of 10 for me.
I agree.
In so many ways. I can't find something to not like about this game.
Mm-hmm.
The soundtrack. I know you guys love base building. This game has base building mechanics in it.
It does.
You know, you're constantly improving your character and the world around you. Did you beat it 10 times?
No, I beat it 6 times. I think this game, the part that, like, one of the high points on it for me is the fact that every single run you do, you feel like shit happens. There's people to talk to to progress stories. There's stuff that you're upgrading. It doesn't ever feel like in Binding of Isaac and games like that, you just die and you're like, well, nothing happened. Even in Dead Cells a lot, it was like, well, nothing. I didn't really get enough to upgrade
Even if you have
anything.
a garbage run, you'll come in, you'll talk to Hypnos.
There'll be people to talk to.
And he's like, man, usually you make it further or something like that.
And the reactive nature of the dialogue and stuff just really shines.
It's so good. All the characters are so good. I wish one of y'all had beaten it completely.
Isaiah did.
Because the world changes a lot. The home base changes a lot when you finally beat it.
When you beat like the 10th time.
And the interactions you have with your father after you have beaten it 10 times. The dialogue is so good. It's just phenomenal. And then the combat system is great. The boon system is phenomenal.
Superb. That boon system
The
is
soundtrack
amazing.
is great.
Every run feeling so unique.
Supergiant nailed it out of the park, man. This game, I don't know if there will be a game to dethrone it. Because, well, you know, I kind of have 2 lists in my head. There's like a nostalgic top 10 list and like a true top 10 list of like, these are the best games. This might even be on the top 10 of that list.
Yeah.
This game is just so good in my opinion. So well made. That I just don't see how you beat that. I'm sure Supergiant will find a way.
Hopefully.
But, man,
Have
I
you
want
played
DLC.
any other games?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I played Bastion a little bit.
Yeah, I played Bastion, Transistor, and Pyre.
I do want to go play Transistor.
I love Transistor.
Just because of how much I love this game. I can't say enough good things about Hades, man. That game is phenomenal. And I highly recommend it to anybody to go play it.
Okay.
All right, Chance, we have a cookie for you.
We have a cookie. You can't eat this cookie because you're far away, but...
Which one of y'all's gonna eat it for me?
You wanna Lady in the Tramp this cookie?
No, absolutely not.
Oh, come on, bro.
I can't take another bite of a cookie, dog.
Oh boy.
That's a nice looking cookie, though.
Chance, would you like to announce your game of the year?
Animal Crossing New Horizons.
That's the most noticeable. Like,
wow.
You can actually see it.
Yeah.
Can you see it, Chance?
Yeah, I can.
It looks
It's a
really good.
cookie.
Yeah.
It is.
All right,
I'm taking a bite.
Take a bite. Barman's.
We don't have to talk though.
I don't have any sip, dude. I'm gonna choke.
I don't either. Go in. Go ahead, Chance. You can talk.
Animal Crossing, it's not a perfect game whatsoever.
Not at all.
Not at all.
My number
It
2?
has its problems, but
Valhalla.
it's a game. It's when I think in the future, when I think about 2020 video games, it's gonna be Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
Because it stretched out not only video games, it went everywhere. Joe Biden had an island. My sister put 500 plus hours into this game, and she doesn't play video games.
Yeah.
My mom got a Switch this Christmas with Animal Crossing. Like that's that's how this game has just spread its arms across every nerd culture thing.
Yeah, every medium.
Sports, like memes. It just
Dude, Kylie's favorite hoodie right now is an Animal Crossing hoodie, and like, if you had told me that a year ago, I'd say you're insane.
Yeah, she got a bunch of Animal Crossing stuff for Christmas: hair ties, clothes, all the jazz.
Like it has transcended video games, and when I think of the game of the year, like, The Last of Us 2 might be a better like video game, right? But when I think the game of this year, it has to be Animal Crossing.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, it is a great, fantastic game.
It's just,
and I hated Animal Crossing. I hated Animal Crossing going into this one, and I was like, dude, I'm picking it up because you want me to. Everyone else has bought it already, so fuck it, I'm gonna buy it. And then 80 hours later, I'm like, damn.
Yeah, that was you got us all into that, and I appreciate that because like maybe I would have gotten this game normally, but if I didn't have everybody to play with, it wouldn't have been nearly as big of an experience. But it was just such a phenomenal time to be able to play that with everyone. I share that.
I agree.
And the thing is, I always forget you were in Texas when it came out, and it didn't feel like that.
No, didn't. Still hopping on our islands with the little doctor mask, bro. Handing everyone doctor masks.
It felt like we were all together when that game came out.
Yeah.
And it was really cool.
Yeah, and I mean, it was. I think it was a perfect pandemic game. Like,
No,
Yes.
100%.
Oh, 100%.
I think the pandemic
Worked out.
helped it a ton.
Yeah, for sure. It sold Switches like nothing else.
It sold so many copies, dude.
I think we have a solid list here. You know, I feel like Chance's pick captures the cultural game of the year. I think yours captures the Cryfest game of the year. Maybe Last of Us is up there too. And then mine captures the pure 10 out of 10 perfect game of the year.
Yeah. Final Fantasy was more the joyful cry.
Yeah.
Last of Us 2 was more of a cry.
Crying pain.
Yeah. So bring us up the doc that you've been keeping track, Jordan, here.
Do you have a definitive list ready?
So we had the point values and stuff. Like the top 10.
That's fine.
Just the top 10. That's all we need.
We just need to see what has the most points. I need to put on my old man glasses here.
The top 10 that we have. Okay.
Valhalla.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla. By 1 point.
Wow. So Valhalla is the synced up podcast game of the year.
Are you kidding me?
That's kind of crazy.
Yes.
Okay, second place is Animal Crossing. That's dope.
Okay.
And Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy 7 is number 3.
It's
just
a
by 1
shame.
point. Damn.
It's a shame y'all didn't put Hades higher on y'all's list.
I know.
Shame I didn't put Final Fantasy 7 up there either.
Hades and Last of Us are tied at 18.
Okay. And so that's top 5. Okay. That's a good list. That's a solid list. We'll have to publish this and organize it and put it on Twitter.
Yeah.
A synced up definitive.
So we can send it out.
List of the year.
Wow.
What
There
a
we go.
year. What a year, lads.
What a long episode.
Yeah, really long episode.
2
Whoever stuck
hours.
around,
Jeez.
put babushka in the comments.
Yeah, if you stuck around, babushka us in the comments. I imagine there's some people that made it to the end. I could name a few probably. You know, the
Hey,
classics.
Spencer's here, man. Hey,
Spencer,
Spencer.
Fielding, Lyle, the guys. You know we love you guys.
Lucas, maybe.
Chance here to the
thanks for
end.
making it to the end, man.
Yeah.
I still expect that play.
Yep.
I'll put it on.
That's a that was a good episode.
It
Well, there
was.
you go. There you have it. Our top 10 lists. A lot of variety, a lot of same stuff in there too. Of course. I think based on our top 10 lists and just based on the year, I think we can definitively say it was a really good year for games, man. In a year that we thought it wasn't going to be a good year for any sort of medium, video games shined, in my opinion.
A much better year looking back on it than I thought
Mm-hmm.
before I made my list.
So many good releases, and I think 2021 is also shaping up to be a fantastic year for games.
I hope.
No, I hope as well.
Me too.
But that's it for the Synced Up podcast. That's all we got for you. That's all the news. That's all the top 10s that we got. I'm trying to get to playing some games after this. You got to go pick up Kylie.
I do.
I'm
I'm going to eat this cookie.
gonna eat that cookie. I'm
pretty
also
good.
gonna eat
I'm
this
gonna
cookie.
get some chicken.
Honestly,
About time.
Yeah, go get you some chicken. But yeah, that's it. That's it for this episode. Thank you for sticking around. If you did,
Thank you, Chance, for joining us.
thank you, Chance, for joining us. Thank you, Mike, for being here. Thank you for Jordan for doing the 1s and 2s, keeping track
Thank
of
you,
all the
Kylie,
stuff.
for the cookies.
Thank you, Kylie, for the cookies. Thank you, everyone who watches and listens to the
Having me.
show. We've got up to about I think our last episode reached like 90. Like how many downloads? Like that first day was our
Just
biggest.
the downloads.
Last week was like our biggest day on the audio feed.
We
And the
I
YouTube
think-
video was
I think a
popping
week
too.
we're getting about 120,
Yeah.
130 monthly listeners, and
Yep.
that's big.
And it's been going up every time, and I can't express enough how much that means to me personally. Having 150 people, right, is not a lot in the grand scheme of things, but to me it is a whole lot. And every single person that downloads the show every week and listens to it means a lot to me. And every single person that writes in an email, Fielding, Lyle, Taylor, Spencer, all of you guys, I have so much appreciation for that stuff, and it still lights up my day when I see an email come into that inbox, and giving Fielding the win on the giveaway, and then having him split it with Spencer was cool, and it feels like we're actually starting like a kind of a community here.
Yeah.
Almost like that people are interacting with each other, Fielding and Spencer, and and on in no means is it on the level of other things like, you know, like Kind of Funny and stuff, right? Like we don't touch those numbers, not even close. And we're not making money. I still have a day job, obviously, and I'm in the negative by a wide margin in terms of financials when it comes to this thing. But you guys make it all worth it, in my opinion. It's a beautiful thing. So thank you for that. And it's been a good year. We haven't been a year of the podcast. This is the last episode of the actual year. It hasn't been a full year. It'll be the end of February when it's been a full year. Yeah. We have some stuff in January. Maybe there's a special guest I might have lined up in January that you guys know. They might come up on the show to talk about. We're going to redo our top 5 games of all time because when we originally did it, it was with shitty mics in a shitty room and with shitty quality.
And I've played a lot of games since then.
And there's a lot of new people listening to the show. So thank you for that. Again, follow us on Twitter. Like, comment, subscribe, rate the show on iTunes if you can, on Apple Podcasts. That really helps us a lot. Do all the stuff. I know people's been doing that, and I just appreciate it. Just share it with your friends. Word of mouth is really how we're growing, and we are still growing. After the promotion, we have still been growing. You know, I was like, oh, we got 80 people every week. Oh, we got 90 people every week. Oh, we got 100 to 120. Oh, now, whoa, wait, last episode was like 140. You know, like it's really a lot. So.
We appreciate it.
We appreciate that, and thank you, Chance, for running the socials. I'm really bad at that, so you doing that really comes in clutch, frankly. But yeah, that's it for this episode. Sorry to get so gushy at the end, but
let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here. We will see y'all next week. Goodbye.
Bye.